Devin Davis presents Batman Unchained, based on the unproduced screenplay by Mark Protosevich, featuring the voice talents of Brett Jamison, Chase Gluch, Olivia Ockey, and James Carter. It's evening in Metropolis. Drums and music are heard from inside a circus tent. There's also the cheering and oohs and ahs of the audience. Inside, the ringmaster is holding court in the middle of the three rings. He is looking up toward the acrobats. The Flying Graysons have just finished their last leap and are standing on their platforms, waving to the audience. The audience is applauding wildly. Yes, Metropolis! The Flying Graysons! Always a showstopper! Let's show them our love! Richard, the youngest Flying Grayson, and soon to become Robin, looks down in the audience and sees Tim Drake, a young man of 8, is jumping up and down and applauding. His parents are beside him, sitting in their seats and clapping. Jack Drake, Tim's father, is trying to calm him down.
Tim, sit down, please.
All right, Dick, way to go!
Dick's father, Mr. Grayson, is standing beside Dick on the platform. He notices Tim jumping up and down. He glances over to Dick, who is waving at Tim. Who's that?
Just some kid I met outside.
Tim sits down in his seat and looks at Jack.
You think we can come back when the circus comes to Gotham?
Jack looks at Tim, smiles, and runs his hand through Tim's hair. The ringmaster prepares to introduce the next act. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to the center ring as we send in the clowns! 2 clown cars come out from opposite wings and drive into the center ring. They then collide into each other. The doors open and 10 clowns pull out from each car and start pointing their fingers at each other. As the clowns perform their act, the audience is laughing and snapping pictures with their cameras. One particular clown starts her act. She is a teenage girl, dressed in a red court jester outfit. She performs a series of acrobatic stunts, twirling in the air around the clowns and eventually pushing them down. All the clowns start punching each other away in an attempt to get closer to her, but she is constantly flipping herself out of their grasp. Finally, she leaps herself onto a higher platform out of the clown's reach. She looks out at the audience and smiles. Her face is covered with white clown makeup, but she is a beautiful girl. She is Harley Quinn. As Harley looks out into the audience, the clowns try to create a human ladder to get to her, but, of course, something goes wrong and the clowns come tumbling down. The audience applauds and laughs. Harley waves to the crowd and bows. Yes, friends! Please allow me to introduce you to the youngest in our collection of clowns, the lovely and talented Miss Harley Quinn! The audience applauds louder as Harley leaps off the platform and cartwheels her way out of sight. It's nighttime now. After the show, the audience members are making their way out of the tent. Among them are several t-shirt vendors. The shirts have pictures of the clowns on the front, with Harley above them all in mid-flip. Once again, we thank you all for coming and look forward to seeing you again when we make our return to Metropolis! The dressing room inside the tent is packed with clowns removing their makeup. Harley walks into the room and pulls off her jester hood. She takes her seat at the dressing room mirror. All around it are newspaper clippings of the Joker. At the counter is a framed clipping of the Joker in all his glory. When Harley sits down, she leans forward and kisses the framed picture and rubs her nose up to it.
Hi, honey.
A fat clown sitting beside her shakes his head in disgust.
Just give it a rest, Harley. You actually think you're gonna meet him?
Harley caresses the framed picture and blows it another kiss.
Well, I'm not gonna be in the circus forever. Who knows what the future might bring?
I've never heard of anyone dreaming to be a groupie for a maniac.
He's not a maniac.
Then what is he?
Harley struggles for an answer, then smiles.
He's a clown prince.
What? You're gonna be his princess? Or his gun mole, maybe?
Harley picks up the framed picture and stands up.
He's more of a clown than you'll ever be. And yes, I will be his princess. Just wait and see.
Just wait and see. You'll forgive me for not giving you two my blessing.
As Harley walks out, two clowns walk into the dressing room. Clown 1 reaches for the Joker picture.
Hey, Harley, you and Joker talking marriage yet?
Yeah, what about having little green-haired kids?
Harley smacks Clown 1's hand away from the picture and storms out of the room. Outside the circus tent, a storm is heard brewing in the distance. Several Metropolis citizens pull out their umbrellas. Harley walks outside, a little spring in her step as she clutches the Joker picture. A couple walks by, the gentleman holding a newspaper.
To think there were so many people in Gotham who would believe that clown.
Harley turns in their direction.
Yeah, that freak really got what he deserved.
Harley now wears a worried glance. She looks down at the picture and then looks around. A Daily Planet truck rolls by, and a package of newspapers are dropped off at a nearby newsstand. Harley runs up to the newsstand and drops to her knees as she reads the freshly printed headline. Gotham Cosmetic Nightmare Ends. Joker Dead. She looks down at the picture again, then at the headline.
No. No!
The newspaper vendor takes the stack of papers away from Harley. He looks down at the headline. Well, well, they finally put that freak down. Harley lets out a shout of despair as the rain starts to come down. She looks up at the night sky, still holding the Joker picture to her chest. The rain starts to wash away her clown makeup, and her tears start flowing from her eyes. A crack of thunder is heard as the storm begins. Lightning flashes, and the squealing of bats is heard in the distance. Nighttime outside Gotham City, 10 years later. The billboards and lights from the tall buildings provide the only illumination.
It's another beautiful evening in Gotham City. This was the opening of an address made by newly elected Mayor Jefferson Kroll. But what started as a jovial speech became somewhat downtrodden as his tone shifted toward the recent union strikes, which are now going into their third month with no end in sight.
These men have a deep responsibility to their employers and to the people of Gotham City. And I think it's a sad day when their duties have to be assumed by a pair of costumed freaks who have constantly been accused of doing more harm than good.
One caped figure is on the rooftops, making its way through the shadows. There is a conversation in the distance.
This score's been a long time coming. You think Mad Hatter's up for the job?
Mad Hatter? He's a psychotic, yes, but he's never failed the boss before.
The caped figure gets closer and closer to the building housing the conversation. As he gets closer, the voices get louder.
The boss isn't the one calling the shots on this one. He's still in Ockey. Now, he may be able to control Mad Hatter, but do you actually think we could?
We shouldn't even be worried about him. I'm more worried about the Bat and his little twerp friend.
Suddenly, the caped figure shoots out a line and swings from one rooftop to another. He is now on the building where the three men are located.
Yeah, we really need to take care of them. Any ideas?
Inside the conference room, three hoods are standing around a table, discussing their plans. The men are all medium to large build, wearing casual to expensive clothing. Two of them are seated, one of them is standing up. Suddenly, the caped figure crashes through the window. All three men are brought to their feet as they turn toward the window.
It's Batman!
The caped figure stands upright. It's not Batman. It's Robin.
Don't worry about the bat. It's only his little twerp.
Kill him!
Robin leaps up and drop kicks the first hood. He then jumps up on the table and continues his work on the other two hoods. Within a few moments, all three of them are down. Robin reaches for the first hood and grabs him by his shirt.
You were saying about your plans?
Robin pulls both of them to their feet. The second hood is slowly getting up, and he reaches for his pistol.
And why should I tell you?
The second hood is in Robin's range, standing behind him. Robin quickly throws down the first hood and executes a backspin kick on the second. Then he picks up the first hood and holds him higher.
Maybe you didn't hear me.
Well, I guess I can tell you a little bit.
Robin holds him closer to his face.
I'm waiting.
Outside the stately Wayne Manor, all is quiet. The moon above is hiding behind the clouds in the sky. Inside the Batcave, Bruce Wayne is walking down the staircase to the Batcave. There is a ringing noise, heard getting closer as Bruce steps up to the Bat computer. He sits down at it and presses a few buttons.
Yeah?
Robin, back on the city rooftop, is standing on the edge. Lying beside him are the three hoods, bound and gagged, unconscious. Robin is speaking into his wrist communicator.
All done. Piece of cake.
In the Batcave, Bruce checks his watch, then smiles as he speaks.
59 seconds. What took so long?
Come on, give me a break. It took a little longer to get them to talk.
And what did you find out?
There's gonna be something going down at Gotham Security. They were talking about someone named Mad Hatter.
Bruce is now starting to look a little worried.
All right, meet me there in 20 minutes.
Bruce shuts off his communicator, then gets up and walks to the vault holding his uniforms. The door opens and he steps inside. Back on the rooftop, Robin shuts off his communicator and picks up one of the thugs. Inside the Batcave, Bruce steps out of the vault, now transformed into Batman. He walks over to the Batmobile, which is ready to roll. He steps inside and starts the car. The Batmobile drives off through the tunnel leading to the outside world. Arkham Asylum at nighttime is a dark, gloomy mansion housing the most terrifyingly insane men and women ever seen in Gotham. Inside, Dr. Burton is walking down the hallway. She is a small, elderly woman with frizzy hair and a kind face. She is wearing glasses and a white coat and holding a clipboard. She walks up to one of the cells. Outside the cell is a large prison guard.
And how is our patient tonight?
As quiet as ever. The only time he even moves is to get his food.
Good, very good. Looks like he really has earned his good behavior release. Well, let's see how he's feeling.
Dr. Burton walks up to the door and opens the slot. She peers inside the cell. She clears her throat before speaking to the patient sitting on the bed.
Jonathan?
The patient, Dr. Jonathan Crane, slowly turns toward the door when his name is called. His face is mostly hidden in the shadows. Only his piercing eyes are in full view. Crane smiles at Dr. Burton. Yes, Dr. Burton?
How are you feeling tonight? Ready for your big day tomorrow?
I feel wonderful. I've been waiting for tomorrow to come for quite a while.
Excellent. I only hope everything goes as smoothly as you're hearing today. Well, I'll leave you alone then. Have a good night's sleep, Jonathan. I'll see you in the morning.
Good night, Doctor. The light coming from the hallway is cut off when Dr. Burton shuts the door slot. Alone in the darkness, Crane lies back on his bed and slowly closes his eyes. Then he lets out a small chuckle. Outside, it's nighttime in Gotham. Crouched on the cathedral rooftop is Batman. Robin swings down from the sky on his gauntlet and lands next to Batman.
You're late.
I had to drop the thugs off with Gordon's men. There were 3 of them.
Take a look down there. Tell me what you see.
Robin pulls out a pair of small binoculars and peers down. Robin sees a group of thugs breaking into the Gotham Security Building. Leading the gang is a hideous-looking man named Jervis Tetch, the Mad Hatter. Robin's face scrunches in disgust.
Who is it?
Some creep. He looks straight out of Alice in Wonderland. You know him?
That's Jervis Tetch. He was a scientist studying illusion casting and mind control. He created technology that he puts in his top hats that allow him these powers, but it's driven him insane. He's become obsessed with Alice in Wonderland and calls himself the Mad Hatter.
Sounds like fun.
Hey, I mean it. Watch yourself.
Okay. You are the boss, right?
Robin folds up his binoculars and places them in his utility belt. Both men pull out their gauntlets and fire them. Grappling hooks shoot out. The grappling hooks attach themselves to the wall above the Gotham Security Building. Mad Hatter and the thugs look up. Batman and Robin fly down from the wires and land on the ground. Mad Hatter looks at Batman and smiles.
On my unbirthday? How'd you know? Kill them.
The thugs charge at Batman and Robin with clubs, axes, and crowbars. Robin jumps out and takes out the first couple of thugs. Batman takes care of some of the others. Mad Hatter runs inside the security building amid the chaos. Robin runs inside the building after him.
Robin! No, get back here!
More thugs come out from behind the building and charge at Batman. Batman uses various weapons from his utility belt to take them down one by one. Inside the security building, there are no lights on. Robin flicks a switch on his headpiece. Robin's night vision is activated. As Robin walks deeper inside the building, he sees the racks of rifles, pistols, and various other weapons. Suddenly, a thug leaps out from the darkness. Robin reacts and takes a swing at the thug. More thugs come from out of the darkness and surround Robin. Robin leaps out and attacks. One by one, they fall. After a few moments, the fighting has stopped and the thugs are lying at Robin's feet.
Who's next?
Batman steps out of the shadows. Robin is taken aback for a moment. He looks back at the door and then at Batman. Batman steps closer and closer to him.
I thought you were out there. Did you see the mess I left back there?
Oh, I saw it.
Batman sucker punches Robin in the gut, then punches him in the head. Robin falls to the ground. Batman smiles at him and reaches behind his back. He pulls out a large steak knife.
What was that for? Why'd you hit me?
Batman laughs in his face. Suddenly, Batman dissolves away, and Mad Hatter is standing in his place.
Whoa, how'd you do that?
How's a raven like a writing desk? Life's full of fun questions. Too bad you won't live long enough to ask any.
Suddenly, a batarang strikes Mad Hatter in the head. Batman runs into the room.
Get away from him, Tetch.
Oh, come on, Crusader. You know as well as I do that there's nothing wrong with a little fear in a young man's heart. Is there, Bird Boy?
Robin starts to edge away from Mad Hatter, still on the ground. His breathing gets more rapid.
You'll be mine again, young man. Another day.
Batman runs to Tetch. Mad Hatter pulls out a flash bomb and throws it to the ground. A terribly bright flash is ignited. The light is intensified in the eyes of Batman and Robin because of their night vision. Robin screams and covers his eyes. Batman shields his eyes with his cape, then switches off his night vision. When the light fades, Mad Hatter is gone. Batman looks around and finds nothing. He then looks at Robin and reaches down to switch off his night vision. Robin looks up at Batman.
So, that was the Mad Hatter.
Outside the security building, a group of squad cars are in the parking lot. Overseeing the collaring is Commissioner James Gordon. He walks over to one of the thugs on the ground and picks up a black piece of cloth. He puts it in his pocket. Then he walks away from the crowd. Gordon walks up to the sidewalk and waits. He checks his watch.
Busy night.
Nothing I'm not used to.
Batman emerges from the shadows. Gordon looks away.
Good timing for a hit like that with security guards on strike.
I'll have to speak with the mayor on the progress the unions are making. I got your message.
Those men we brought down. Jervis Tetch was with them.
Mad Hatter? Nobody's heard much from him in a while. Word around town was that he relocated.
That's not Tetch's style.
Of course not.
Jim, those men worked for the Scarecrow.
You think his getting released tomorrow has something to do with this?
Very likely.
They wanted those weapons for something. Why is it you want to meet here all the...
When Gordon turns around, Batman is gone. Gordon hesitates for a moment, then puts the cloth in his pocket and walks away. A moment passes, and then Batman reappears. He is holding a pair of roses in his hand. He crouches down and places the roses on the sidewalk. Batman stands up and looks down at the roses, then walks away. It's daytime in the Wayne Manor. The television is on, and the voice of Gossip Gertie, Gotham's leading news reporter, is heard.
Good morning, Gotham. It's Gossip Gertie. We're outside the infamous Arkham Asylum where we're expected to witness the release of one of Gotham's most dangerous, though now reformed, criminals.
In the Wayne Manor living room, Bruce and Dick are sitting down, watching the television. Alfred Pennyworth is walking around the room, keeping everything nice and neat. Bruce keeps his eyes on the screen. Dick keeps his head down, deep in thought. Gossip Gertie is standing beside Dr. Burton on the television.
I'm standing here outside the asylum with Dr. Maxine Burton, who claims to be nothing less than delighted with the reforming of Jonathan Crane. Do you care to comment on how you are able to change a man such as Mr. Crane?
Well, Miss Gertie,
It took quite some time for Dr. Crane to rehabilitate himself, but I believe he has done a fabulous job. I'm very proud of his turn towards the light, if you will.
So what are Mr. Crane's plans for the future now that he is a free man again?
Dr. Burton looks over her shoulder and smiles.
Well, why don't you ask him that yourself, Miss Gertie?
Dr. Jonathan Crane steps out of the asylum. He is dressed splendidly, with a three-piece suit. His hair is neatly combed back, and he is smiling brightly.
And here he is, Gotham, the fully reformed Mr. Jonathan Crane. How are you feeling now, Jonathan?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very, 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 very much, Miss Gertie. I've always been a fan of your work. Gertie blushes a bit, not able to let go of her smile.
Oh, bye. Thank you, Mr. Crane. Didn't know I was popular around here.
You're a much bigger star than you think, my dear. Gertie blushes.
Well, oh dear. Well, Mr. Crane, what appears to be in your future?
You'll be happy to know that Gotham University has offered me my old job back as professor of psychology, and I'm already looking forward to the year ahead. My students are in for a treat. Bruce narrows his eyes as he watches the set. He then looks over to Dick, who is keeping his head down, not saying a word. Dick looks up at the ceiling, wearing an angry look.
Still thinking about last night?
Of course.
You have to put it behind you, Dick.
I can't.
Well, I did tell you to stay away from Tetch. Why didn't you listen to me?
I don't know, I guess I wanted to prove something, you know?
Prove that you're good enough to be my partner? Dick, you've done that more times than I can count.
Dick stands up and walks away. Bruce looks up at Alfred, who is standing nearby, cleaning. Alfred looks at Bruce and smiles.
You were listening.
It would be a disappointment to you if I was not, sir.
You should have seen him last night, Alfred. He was like a man possessed or something. What else is there for him to prove?
I'm shocked at your naivety, Master Bruce.
You know something I don't.
As disarming as that may sound, yes, sir.
Alfred sits down next to Bruce.
Master Dick is simply growing up, sir. You two have been partners for quite some time now, and he has grown accustomed to the perils of this city and to his job.
And he feels that he can take on that duty himself? Against people like Tetch? Like Crane?
Jonathan Crane is kissing the hand of Gossip Gertie. She giggles flirtatiously. Bruce gives an angry sneer, then calms down as he turns back toward Alfred.
Dick's not ready for that yet.
Master Bruce, how many years did you go out into that big, bad city by yourself? How many times did you prove, time and time again, that you were more than suitable for the task?
Well, he's shown some improvement over the past few months, but after last night, I'm not so sure. How did he get that reckless? He wouldn't even listen to me, Alfred.
Alfred stands up, looks down at Bruce. He smiles and walks away. Bruce is left alone with his thoughts. Daytime outside Gotham University, and Dr. Crane and Dean Roland, a middle-aged man with a gentle face, are walking along the campus. Several students are passing by.
Feels just like old times, doesn't it, Dr. Crane? Good to be back?
I was telling Dr. Burton about how excited I was for the longest time. I'm sure that she was as anxious for me to leave as I was. Roland laughs at Crane's joke. Crane and Roland continue walking until they are up to the main school doors. There is a flock of birds nearby. Crane notices them, and then walks away from Roland toward the birds. He smiles and flails his arms. Oh, birds! The birds scatter. Crane smiles at them as they fly away. He looks back toward Dean Roland and gives him a slight grin before dropping back into his serious tone. Just an old habit, Dean Roland. Now, if you would show me to my, classroom?
Of course, Dr. Crane.
Inside the classroom, Crane is unpacking his bag. Inside it are the instruments he would commonly use in his classroom. He places the items on the desk. Crane then pulls out a .22 caliber Smith & Wesson pistol. He holds it up and examines it. Crane closes his eyes and smiles. Inside his head is the voice of a younger Jonathan Crane teaching his students. Ladies and gentlemen, the psychology of the gun. Inside that classroom, a 10 years younger Dr. Crane reaches into his desk and pulls out the Smith & Wesson. He aims it at a vase on his desk and fires. The vase shatters, and the students jump back in panic. Crane looks back at the students and smiles. Back to the present day, Crane opens his eyes and places the pistol at the front of his desk. He reaches into the bag again and pulls out a small white skull. Crane holds it in his hand with a strong grip, then opens a drawer and places the skull inside. Suddenly, there is a knock at the door. Crane quickly turns toward the doorway. Dean Roland is standing there. Oh, Dean Roland, I was just, remembering. What can I do for you?
Well, I hate to bother you, but there's a delivery here. 4 large wooden boxes?
Good. My equipment is here.
Equipment? But I thought we had everything you needed.
Your labs are adequate, Dean Roland. This is just some, extra materials for my more advanced students.
Would you like some help with these boxes?
No, thank you. I'll, take care of them. Roland walks away. A mover walks into the classroom wheeling in a large box on a cart. The mover keeps his head down, wearing the typical green outfit and matching cap. Crane looks at his watch, then looks back up at the mover. You're late. The mover looks up at Crane. Suddenly, the face changes as the illusion dissolves itself into the face of the Mad Hatter.
I got thirsty. I made myself some tea. Would you like some?
Of course not. You know I could never stomach your tea.
My tea should appeal to you of all people. All the right ingredients to create a pot full of bubbling fear and madness.
Well, there'll be plenty of time for that. Recipe exchanging later. For now, get the equipment ready. Mad Hatter wheels the cart to the back of the classroom and starts unloading the equipment. There are several small monitors and a computer terminal. Mad Hatter keeps walking out of the room and back into it, bringing the other boxes. Where are the other men? I paid good money for them.
Ask Batman and his little sparrow.
Batman and Robin?
I got the boy real scared. Ooh, Crane, you should have seen the little brat's face, his eyes. I cannot wait to make him feel that way again.
You just may get your chance. First, we should pay Blackgate Prison a visit. Inside Harley Quinn's apartment, various clippings and photos of the Joker are covering the walls. In the center of the room is Harley Quinn. She is sitting in the slouched position in a chair. Her hair is ragged, with bangs streaming down her face. Her clothes are tattered. She is holding a remote control. Harley is facing a small television and VCR. In the VCR is a video recording of the GNN coverage of the Joker's death. On the screen is an image of the Joker, in all his glory, standing atop the Gotham City 200 float. Harley pauses the tape and stares into the Joker's eyes. She smiles. Harley presses play. The rest of the news coverage continues. She watches the Smilex gas pour seeping from the floats. The people are in a panic, reaching for money and running. Harley laughs silently to herself as she watches. She starts to laugh harder, feeling more and more giddy. Suddenly, Harley's laughing stops as the Batwing comes into the frame, taking the balloons and cutting them loose into the sky. The news coverage continues. Harley watches the Joker dangling helplessly from a ladder above Gotham Cathedral, with a stone gargoyle attached to his leg. Harley starts to frown. Tears roll down her face. The rage inside her begins to swell. She continuously presses rewind and play, switching images of Batman and the Joker. The more she does it, the angrier she gets. Finally, she shrieks and throws the remote control into the television set. Harley stands up and looks around her room at all the different pictures of the Joker. She grabs one, the framed one she has kept in mint condition for the past 10 years, and plants a big kiss on it. Harley then places the photo down and glances over at the old circus costume wrapped in plastic and hanging on the closet doorknob. She smiles wickedly. Outside Blackgate Prison, it's nighttime, and the gates are tightly shut. The security guards are on alert. Inside the prison, a guard is sitting in the control booth, watching the different monitors. Suddenly, another guard and a man wrapped in a cloak walk into the room.
Let's go. You're on break.
Break? No, I don't think so. I just had one.
The guard's face dissolves away into the face of Mad Hatter.
You should have done what you were told.
Mad Hatter pulls out his knife. The cloaked man reaches into his cloak and pulls out a small white skull.
Wait. Leave her to me. Find what we came for.
Mad Hatter smiles and walks away. The guard watches him leave.
Hey, come back here. You can't...
Don't worry about him.
The cloaked man moves closer and closer to the guard. The cloak opens a little, revealing a green strawed costume underneath. It is the Scarecrow, alias Dr. Jonathan Crane.
Instead, tell me about you.
Scarecrow squeezes the skull, and a green mist spews out from the skull's eyes.
Tell me about your dreams as they slip away from you, and your nightmares as they flash before your very eyes.
The guard's eyes widen in fear. A swarm of hornets suddenly appears toward her. The guard shrieks and steps away. Scarecrow watches her and laughs. In a desperate act, the guard reaches out and hits the alarm button on the computer console. Outside the prison, the alarms blare. In the distance, the bat signal is activated. In the Batcave, Batman steps out of the uniform vault. He hears a noise, grunting, punches. Batman walks toward the source of the noise. When he finds it, he steps into the workout room. Robin is in full uniform, punching fiercely at a punching bag.
Robin?
Yeah.
You coming with me tonight?
Sure. Just working out some kinks.
Robin keeps his punches concentrated on one part of the bag.
Be careful, you don't want to...
Robin reaches back and delivers one final punch that breaks a hole in the bag. Robin looks back at Batman and pulls his fist out of the bag. He flashes Batman a smile.
Never mind.
The Batmobile and the Redbird race out into the streets of Gotham. The bat signal is still shining brightly over the city. In the Batmobile, Batman flicks a switch on the console. A small image of Commissioner Gordon appears.
What have you got, Jim?
Looks bad. Alarms going off at Blackgate Prison.
Any word about an escape?
Not yet. We're still waiting to hear something.
We'll be right there.
Batman shuts off the communicator and accelerates. Inside Harley Quinn's apartment, Harley's sewing kit is open. Loose thread and fabric are lying about. In the shadows, it is Harley Quinn. Piece by piece, she is putting on her new and improved costume. It is red and black, and there is a new mask that covers her eyes. The complete outfit gives off a much more sinister approach than the costume she wore during her circus days. Harley fixes the headpiece in her mirror. She smiles wickedly as she checks herself out. There is a police scanner on. Harley hears the reports of alarms going off at Blackgate Prison.
Okay, Miss Quinn. Let's see what tricks you're gonna pull off tonight.
In the streets of Gotham City, Robin flips a switch on his handlebar. It is an intercom between the two vehicles.
What's going on?
Some trouble at Blackgate. Possible jailbreak. You take the outside. I'll be going in.
Just don't put the car on the roof again. Remember how stupid we looked trying to get it down last time?
Nag, nag, nag.
In Blackgate Prison, Scarecrow's men are sitting in their respected jail cells. There is a sudden commotion that attracts the men's attention. The frightened guard runs into the room, screaming her lungs out.
Oh, get them away from me!
The cloaked man walks into the room from behind her, holding a set of keys. The cloak drops at his feet. The Scarecrow is standing there in his complete costume and in all his glory. He smiles as he looks at his men. Outside the prison, Batman and Robin arrive. Batman goes inside while Robin covers him outside. Inside, Batman puts on a small gas mask and fires small tear gas bombs to help take out the convicts who haven't escaped. In the confusion, Mad Hatter runs out of the prison, hoping to make a fast escape. Scarecrow remains unnoticed, watching Batman do his thing. He then slowly exits. Outside, Robin notices a couple of convicts trying to escape. Before the police can react, Robin leaps into battle and quickly dispatches the convicts. The other police officers join in to help the unconscious ones back to their respected cells. Robin looks around for more and finally spots Mad Hatter trying to make a quick exit. Thinking it's just a regular criminal, Robin runs up to him and kicks him right in the back. Mad Hatter turns around and the two of them lock their eyes on each other. Mad Hatter smiles. Robin's face becomes one of rage and he pummels Mad Hatter with punches and kicks. The guard with the fear gas runs out of the prison still thinking there's a swarm of hornets around her. The police keep her quiet in the meantime. Inside the prison, Batman finishes off the last of the convicts using an assorted supply of gadgets from his utility belt. When he is done, the smoke from the tear gas dissipates and it is clear for his gas mask to come off. Batman looks around for more and hears the commotion from outside. Outside the prison, Robin pulls Mad Hatter to his feet and repeatedly punches him to the ground, then pulls him back up to do it again. Batman runs out and sees Robin holding Mad Hatter.
Robin!
Robin turns his head toward Batman. The distraction is enough for Mad Hatter to push Robin away and use one of his flash bombs to escape. When the light fades, Mad Hatter is gone. Robin shouts out a cry of anger at having let Mad Hatter escape. Batman puts his hands on Robin's shoulders.
Calm down.
I had him! I had him in my hands. I could have finished him off right there, and you...
But you didn't. Remember that. If you had, you would have brought yourself down to his level.
No, they're coming at me!
Calm down, there's nothing there.
Batman walks over to Gordon, holding the guard down. Robin is left alone, looking up at the sky with his hands on his hips. Gordon is holding the guard down on the ground. There are a couple of cops standing by, keeping their distance.
Let me see.
Batman takes a look at the guard and looks into her eyes. The eyes are wide open and the pupils dilated. Sweat is pouring down her forehead.
Can you hear me? Nod if you can.
The guard takes a few deep breaths, then looks at Batman. Sweat is still pouring down her brow as she slowly nods her head.
Are you all right now? There's nothing here. It's okay. You're safe.
There's nothing here. I'm okay.
Batman smiles, then pulls the guard to her feet. The guard looks around confusingly.
Can you remember what happened?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I remember a guard coming up to me and telling me that it's time for my lunch break.
And then what?
There was this some guy with a cloak. He had this skull with him.
Batman looks at Gordon, wearing a worried glance.
Was he holding the skull up to you?
The guard thinks for a moment, then nods.
Yeah, it was a small skull fit right in his hand, and it sprayed something.
Was it a green mist?
Green mist, yeah. And then there were all these...
The guard cuts herself off, and she starts to breathe heavily again. She starts panicking again. Batman pulls out a small needle and pricks the guard with it. She slowly falls asleep. Gordon looks at one of the cops nearby and beckons him over.
Get this woman to a hospital.
The cop beckons another cop to help him get the guard up. Batman and Gordon walk away from the cops together.
Fear gas?
Scarecrow.
Batman walks toward Robin. Robin looks over at Batman.
Everything's done?
Let's go.
Batman and Robin move toward their vehicles. In the meantime, one convict gets by unnoticed. He is holding a knife in his hand. He starts walking toward Batman and Robin when another figure grabs him and pulls him down. The convict looks up to see Harley Quinn standing there in her costume. She kicks him repeatedly.
Nobody kills him but me. Got it?
Off in the distance, Scarecrow watches and absorbs the action. He smiles. His plan is starting to take form. On the streets of Gotham City, the Batmobile and the Redbird are just coming up to the Batcave. Batman sits silently in the Batmobile, stone-faced. Robin sits on the Redbird, not saying a word. He wears an extremely angry look. Outside the mayor's office, Commissioner Gordon is sitting in the waiting room, looking at the door to the office. He is holding his coat. Victoria, the mayor's secretary, comes up to Gordon.
Mr. Kroll will see you now, sir.
Thank you, Victoria.
Gordon gets up and walks to the door. Mayor Jefferson Kroll is sitting behind his large desk. Gordon is already sitting in one of the 2 chairs positioned in front of the desk. His coat is on the empty chair. Their conversation is in progress.
So let me get this straight, James. From everything that went down at Blackgate Prison last night, you mean to tell me that you want to pin all the blame on a reformed psychology professor?
Jonathan Crane is much more than that, Mr. Mayor. You know that as well as I do. Why do you think he was sent to Arkham in the first place?
Now you just hold it right there, Commissioner. I haven't finished yet.
Gordon glares at Kroll, but doesn't respond.
I also understand that your Batman was heavily involved in this incident.
Both Batman and Robin made sure this incident was contained. If you had given the security guards the raise they deserve...
Then there wouldn't even have been a hit on Blackgate. So you would admit that so-called dynamic duo, as the press has been so kind to label, is responsible for last night?
Now that's not what I mean at all.
Oh. From what you've just said, I have to disagree. You know, James, for someone in your high position, you seem to depend an awful lot on a couple of costume pains in the ass.
Gordon grabs his coat.
If this is just another one of your vents, I have work to do. Batman and Robin have saved our city more times than...
And if Gotham's police had a more able-bodied leader, they would have done the job just as well, if not better.
Gordon is about to say something to Kroll, then turns to leave.
You got lucky this time, James. But if anything else like this happens, I may be forced to call in the National Guard.
Gordon stops in his tracks and turns back toward Kroll.
If you do that, then...
Kroll stands, keeping total eye contact with Gordon.
That's right, James. With my position comes power. And with the news that sparked from one phone call, I can destroy your career.
Gordon hesitates for a moment, then turns and leaves the room. Outside Gotham University, a sign is posted on the doors. The sign reads, "Earn $25 today. Harmless psychology experiment. Report to Gotham University Auditorium. Dr. Jonathan Crane, 6 o'clock p.m." A group of students crowds around the sign. They ad-lib their thoughts, all positive since they can earn money. Many of them open their date books and write down the information. A student aide is busy putting up more flyers. The more flyers he puts up, the more students are attracted to the offer. Inside the Gotham U auditorium, there are a bunch of empty chairs with wireless virtual reality helmets on each chair. The desk in the front has a computer terminal on it. Several monitors are displayed along the walls of the auditorium. The students file into the room. They look around and ad-lib their comments about the setup. The student aide who posted the signs walks up to the front.
Please take your seats and keep the helmets in your lap until you are instructed to put them on.
The students obey, taking their seats and holding the helmets. When everyone is in their seats, the door opens and Crane walks in. He looks around the room and smiles. Such a wonderful turnout. Thank you all for coming, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so thrilled that there are so many of you here. Crane walks over to the student aide. Thank you for your help, my friend. The student aide smiles. Crane turns to the students before him. Now we come to the point of the evening, the experiment, and I am sure it is greed rather than the pursuit of knowledge that has brought you all here. But do not worry. You will all be getting the payment you deserve once we are finished. Now, if you would be so kind as to place the helmets on your head, we can begin. The students put on the helmets and wait patiently. The aide walks over to the terminal and turns it on. The students see a dazzling light show, a beautiful display of laser lights and computer graphics. Occasionally, the student will raise his or her hand, and they will see a computer graphic visual representation of their hand. Suddenly, there is a blinding white light and a series of hypnotic flashing lights appear. They form a circular pattern and revolve around each other. Then the lights start to take shape. The voice of Jonathan Crane is heard.
This is a painful world, full of torture, damnation, persecution, and most of all, fear. Only one thing can take that all away, and it is me.
The spheres of flashing lights rearrange themselves to form a computer-generated image of the Scarecrow.
I am your savior. I'm your master. I am, your guide. I am the Scarecrow.
The image of the Scarecrow gets smaller and smaller, and the words, "Obey me," appear throughout the image, the letters dripping in blood. Soon enough, the whole screen is filled with red. Then another blinding light, and all that is left on the screen is now a multicolored flashing sphere. In the auditorium, the Scarecrow is standing before the students in full costume.
I now declare this experiment completed. You may now remove your helmets.
The students slowly remove their helmets. They all have blank stares now, completely hypnotized. The Scarecrow slowly walks around the room, nodding his head and approving his own work.
Ah, remarkable. No passion so efficiently robs the mind of all its power of acting and reasoning as fear.
Scarecrow waves his hand in front of one of the students' face.
Ah, I see you haven't been studying your Burke as I instructed you to do. And now, for our final stages of the experiment, the conclusion. Everyone stand.
The students stand up as one group, simultaneously.
Excellent. Now sit.
The students sit. Scarecrow pulls out a gun and hands it to one of the students in front.
And now you,
pointing to a nearby student.
Shoot him.
The student with the gun hesitates. The one instructed to be shot still looks forward, completely oblivious.
Oh, I know it's hard. The most mortal sin above all. Thou shalt not kill.
Scarecrow leans toward the student and whispers in his ear.
But now I know that I am your God, and I require not worship, but obedience.
Pointing to the target.
Do it, my little lamb. Make your God happy, and earn a place in his kingdom for all time. Kill him.
The student pulls the trigger. A shot rings out. The target drops to the floor, dead.
Incredible. I amaze even myself. Now, I'll need all of you to line up and go to my classroom. There you'll find your costumes. Now move.
The students stand up and line up to leave the room. The aide leads them out. When all the students are gone, Dean Roland runs into the room. There is nobody in the room, just the equipment.
Is anybody in here? I heard a gunshot.
The Scarecrow walks into the room and grabs Roland's shoulder. Roland is startled, and he turns around.
Greetings, Dean Roland. How nice for you to visit.
Dr. Crane, is that you?
But, of course, my friend. And in fact, you're just the person I need. I'll need another chaperone for the field trip I'm sending these students on.
Scarecrow grabs a virtual reality helmet. He puts his arms around Dean Roland and leads him to a seat.
Now, we just need to get you prepared.
Roland struggles in his seat, trying to get up, but Scarecrow slams the helmet on Roland's head, knocking him out. Once Roland is unconscious, Scarecrow examines the helmet he used as a weapon. It's broken. Scarecrow picks up another helmet and puts that one on Roland's head. He then walks over to the terminal and switches it on.
Are you ready to change your religion, Dean Roland?
In the Gotham City Park, it is daytime, and Dick is jogging around. He is wearing a gray sweatsuit and white sneakers, looking as typical as anyone else. He stops by a refreshment cart and buys a bottle of water. When Dick buys the water, he walks over to the park bench. He opens the bottle and drinks the water. Suddenly, something catches Dick's eye. He leans forward and smiles as he sees Harley. Harley is sitting on a bench nearby, looking at the fountain in the park. She is dressed casually, in a long-sleeve shirt and tight pants. She looks much better than she previously did.
Harley?
Dick gets up and walks over to Harley's bench.
Harley. Harley Quinn.
Harley looks up and smiles as she sees Dick.
Dick Grayson?
Both of them are speechless, unable to stop smiling.
How are things? I mean, how have you been?
Great. Things have been going well. How about you? Are you still at the circus?
No. I had to leave the circus quite a few years ago.
Well, what did your parents say about that? don't they still need you as one of the Flying Graysons?
Dick sips his water, then pauses.
That's right. You had already left when it happened.
Harley is still at a loss.
When what happened?
My parents, died. Some guy named Two-Face killed them. My older brother, too.
Oh no, Dick, I'm so sorry.
Harley gets up and gives Dick a big hug. Dick gives a little smile as he hugs her back.
I'm such an idiot. I didn't mean to push. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I learned to cope with it. Don't worry about it.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. It's been a while and I've gotten past it.
Would you like to take a walk with me?
They break the hug, and Dick smiles at Harley. She smiles back.
Sure.
Harley and Dick start walking around the park.
So what happened to you after you left the circus? I remember you took off without a word.
Well, I had some things I needed to work out, get my head straight, make a plan for myself after the circus, you know?
The other clowns gave you a hard time, didn't they? Something about you wanting to marry the Joker?
Well, I did. Still do.
You still do? You do know he's dead, right? He died a few years back when...
Harley turns on Dick.
I know what happened, Dick. I know what Batman did to him.
Batman saved the whole city. The Joker was gonna gas everyone.
He was gonna make them laugh, which is every clown's job.
Dick gives Harley a funny look.
Well, I can't get into a debate about it. Neither one of us was there.
We have quite a bit in common, Dick.
Dick is about to ask her what she means, but he just smiles.
It's good to see you again.
Harley smiles back.
Good to see you too.
Inside Wayne Manor, Bruce is busy reading in his study. Alfred is walking around, dusting, as usual. Dick walks into the study, wearing a big grin on his face. Bruce looks up from his book, noticing Dick's smile.
Do my eyes deceive me?
What?
Is that a smile I see on my previously downtrodden partner?
Guess I just felt differently today.
It's nice to see you in a good spirit again, Master Dick.
Thanks, Al. Feels pretty nice, too.
You'll be happy to know that I've received a postcard from Barbara in London. She's doing well at school and sends her love and an extra kiss to you, Master Dick.
Dick smiles at Bruce and sits up straight.
I know you can't keep it in much longer, so you might as well tell me why you're so happy today.
Can't a guy just enjoy a jog through the park on a beautiful day?
You met a girl.
Not just any girl. Harley Quinn.
Alfred and Bruce give each other confused looks.
And she is...
An old friend from the circus. She was the head of the clowns, and Bruce, you should have seen her. She was so cool, dressed in a court jester outfit and flipping and twirling her way out of the reach of the other clowns.
Sounds like a fun act. You should keep in touch with her.
Don't worry about that. I am.
He notices what Bruce is reading.
What's that?
It's a speech I have to make for the opening to Wayne Enterprises' new security facility. You should take your new friend. You could use a date. We need to get you out more.
Are Batman and Robin gonna be guest stars there?
Absolutely not. They have better things to do than schmooze for gossip Gertie.
So who's your date?
She's,
He looks down, drawing a blank. Alfred walks over to Bruce and whispers in his ear.
Crystal, yes. Thank you, Alfred.
You're quite welcome, Master Bruce.
Inside the Gotham U auditorium, the student aide is busy putting away the equipment. Crane is standing in the doorway. You know what to do with that?
Of course I do.
The student aide transforms into the Mad Hatter. I expect you to have it back when we're finished, Hatter.
So what's the plan tonight?
You're to lead our army to the new security facility that Wayne Enterprises is opening.
And what about you?
We'll need a diversion. Something to get Batman and Robin off our backs, and I know just where we can find it. Outside the Wayne Enterprises security building, it's nighttime. An assortment of reporters and photographers are ready. The Wayne limo pulls up. The photographers snap to attention. Alfred steps out of the driver's seat and opens the door for Bruce, Dick, and their dates. Bruce steps out with a stunning brunette named Crystal. She is holding tightly to Bruce's arm. Dick steps out with Harley Quinn around his arm. She is looking nothing short of fabulous, holding a medium-sized handbag.
Once again, Gossip Gertie is here to bid greetings to all of Gotham City. This would normally be a modestly handled evening for the opening to a new security facility.
Bruce and Dick effortlessly move through the crowd.
But in this case, the owner is Gotham's most eligible bachelor and my close personal friend, Bruce Wayne. So in true Wayne fashion, all the stops have been pulled out.
Inside the building, drinks are being served, and the large crowd is mingling amongst themselves. Bruce is at the center of attention, shaking hands from everyone around him. Crystal holds on to him tightly. Dick and Harley walk around the facility, holding hands. Bruce and Crystal eventually get out of the group and start walking around themselves. In the midst of the group, watching over Bruce, is Dean Rowland. He is well dressed in order to blend into the group of suits and the press. He still has the blank stare given to him by the Scarecrow.
Such a night as this has attracted even the newly elected Mayor Jefferson Kroll. He is expected to make a speech later on tonight.
Later on, Mayor Kroll is standing on a podium addressing the crowd. Flashbulbs are going off, and the reporters are holding up their microphones to Mayor Kroll's mouth.
And in closing, I must say that it is truly a wonder for people like our host, Bruce Wayne, to present to the people of Gotham City a brand new facility that not only brings more jobs to us, but lets us feel protected once again.
Applause breaks out.
Now we won't have to depend on a pair of costume vigilantes to carry out the justice the people of Gotham City deserve.
Harley Quinn giggles and applauds loudly as the rest of the people applaud as well. Bruce and Dick exchange irritated glances. Dick looks at Harley. Harley stops applauding.
Costume vigilantes aren't all bad.
They are when they hurt the innocent.
Still upset about the Joker thing, huh?
Harley frowns at Dick and pulls away from him.
Joker thing? You are just like all those other clowns.
Mayor Kroll motions for Bruce to come up to the podium.
Bruce, come on up here and say hi to these lovely guests.
Crystal kisses Bruce on the cheek. Bruce moves his way up to the podium. Dick is still pondering what Harley is talking about.
Those other clowns?
Bruce waves to the people in the crowd. He looks up to the ceiling and sees a green mist slowly seeping from the vents. Bruce quickly reaches into his pocket and pulls out a pair of small nose filters. He turns around and inserts them in each of his nostrils. When Bruce turns back around, he looks at Dick. Dick looks back at him. Then Bruce glances up and Dick does the same. When Dick sees the mist, he quickly pulls out a pair of his nose filters and inserts them accordingly. Bruce pulls out his speech and clears his throat to speak. Suddenly, there's a scream in the back of the room. A woman is shrieking maniacally.
No, please don't hurt me, please!
The woman's husband is trying to comfort her. Darling, are you okay? It's me. Don't you recognize me? The woman is not seeing her husband, but a man in a ski mask holding a gun to her head. The woman starts pulling off her jewelry and handing it to her husband. He looks confused for a moment, then looks down and he yells out in fear. The husband is suddenly standing on thin ice that is breaking very quickly. The ice breaks and he falls into ice-cold water. The husband clutches his heart and drops to the ground. Help me! Somebody help me! So cold! As the mist now shoots from the vents everywhere, all the people in attendance are shrieking in panic. Cries of, "Help me! Save me! Please don't leave me!" echo through the halls. Dick quickly covers Harley's nose and mouth. Bruce comes down from the podium and does the same for Crystal before the mist gets to them.
We gotta get them outside.
As Bruce and Dick move their dates out the door, his entourage is also singing to Mayor Kroll. They move him out the door. Bruce and Dick run out the door, each of them holding their date. Right behind them is Mayor Kroll and his entourage. They run toward the mayor's limousine. Dick hails a taxi. The taxi pulls up and Dick opens the door.
We gotta get you ladies out of here.
Bruce, I don't want to leave ya.
It's alright, Crystal. I'll be okay. Just get in the cab with Harley. I'll call you later to make sure you got home safe, okay?
Dick turns to Harley.
Well, I'm sorry things had to end so abruptly back there. And I'm sorry about what I said. Really.
Harley turns her back to Dick and gets in the cab. Crystal follows her in. Crystal looks back at Bruce.
I had a wonderful time, Brucey. Call me, please.
Bruce nods and shuts the car door. Then he gives a 20 to the cabbie and the car takes off. Once the cab is out of sight, Bruce and Dick both race toward the Wayne limousine. Alfred is already opening the trunk.
You'll call her, huh?
Of course I will.
Yeah, right.
Mayor Kroll is getting into his limousine. He turns to his Secret Service men.
I'll be fine. Stay here and see if you can help these people.
I'll go with you, sir.
Mayor Kroll and the Secret Service men get into the back seat and the car drives off. The rest of the Secret Service walk back into the security facility. In the streets of Gotham City, the cab carrying Harley and Crystal drives down the street. Inside the cab, Harley keeps looking back at the security facility. Crystal is lost in her own thoughts, if you can call them that.
Brucey is so dreamy, isn't he?
Harley opens her handbag. Inside, all rolled up, is her costume. She is barely paying attention to Crystal.
Yeah, hon, he's great.
Suddenly, Harley opens the door, holds her handbag tightly, and jumps out of the moving cab.
Hey, where you going?
Harley rolls onto the street. Cars are whizzing by, honking their horns. One car is coming quite close to her.
Crap!
Harley flips herself up, then quickly leaps out of the way. Inside the mayor's limousine, Mayor Kroll and his Secret Service man are in the back seat.
Are you sure everything's okay, sir?
Fine. Everything's okay.
The limo makes a sharp turn. Mayor Kroll looks out the window.
This isn't the way to my estate. Driver, where are we going?
The driver stares ahead, blank-faced, as he drives the limo. He is one of the Scarecrow's hypnotized students.
Driver, stop this car now!
The Secret Service man leans forward to look at the driver.
You're not the regular driver.
Without a word, the student reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small pistol. He shoots the Secret Service man in the head. The Secret Service man falls back, dead. The mayor starts shouting for anyone to hear him. The student presses a button and the divider rolls up. Back inside the Wayne Enterprises security building, as the people attending the party shriek and run for cover from whatever they believe is chasing them, the students dressed in Scarecrow costumes crash through the windows and start making their way toward the cages holding the weapons. Heading the attack is Mad Hatter. He stands by the podium.
Beautiful! Fear is the catalyst. Madness is our reward.
As some Scarecrows break open the cages and pull out the artillery, others are bringing weapons in from outside the room. Suddenly, Batman and Robin crash through the windows and leap at the Scarecrows. Mad Hatter sees what is happening and points to Batman and Robin.
Kill them!
The Scarecrows all run toward Batman and Robin, but both of them do a good job of keeping them down.
We gotta get these people out of here.
I'll keep these guys down. You get them to safety.
Robin runs up to the windows and breaks them all, getting some fresh air into the building. Then he starts herding the crowd into the streets. They are still all in a panic, but they are starting to calm down now that some fresh air is in their lungs. Batman is busy knocking down the Scarecrows. Mad Hatter gets down off the stage and runs to collect some weapons. Batman pulls out his batarang and tosses it, taking out a few Scarecrows at a time. Then he uses his grappling hooks to tie down a few more. Robin runs back inside the building and sees Mad Hatter.
Tetch!
Mad Hatter looks up as Robin charges at him. Robin knocks down Mad Hatter and kicks him in the head. Mad Hatter falls to the ground. While he is on the ground, Mad Hatter looks up at the Scarecrows that are still standing.
Bring me the bird boy's feathered head!
The Scarecrows advance at Robin, which distracts him from going after Tetch. Robin follows Batman's lead by pulling out his batarang and grappling hooks. Soon enough, a large portion of the Scarecrows are on the ground. Mad Hatter runs out the door. Robin watches him leave.
You're going down, Tetch!
Suddenly, Harley Quinn leaps out from outside and kicks Robin in the chest. She then flips around him and kicks him in the leg. Robin looks up and recognizes the outfit.
Harley?
He says under his breath. Batman runs up to help Robin, but Harley pulls out a smoke bomb and throws it to the ground. The bomb explodes and smoke is everywhere. Neither Batman nor Robin can see. As the smoke slowly seeps out, Harley makes her way to the tied-up Scarecrows and cuts them loose. Then the Scarecrows grab some weapons and quickly make their exit. Robin notices the Scarecrows leaving.
They're getting away!
Robin runs out the door, trying to chase them down. But outside, he sees that nobody is there. He drops to one knee to catch his breath and slams his hand on the road in anger and frustration. Batman comes up to Robin as police cars pull up. Robin looks up at Batman.
That was Harley. That court jester that ambushed us was my date tonight.
Batman helps Robin to his feet. Outside Gotham University, the limousine pulls up. The main door opens. Loud footsteps are heard. Inside the limousine, Mayor Kroll is wide-eyed, looking around the back seat for any way out. His Secret Service man is still lying dead beside him. When he hears the sound of footsteps getting closer, his breathing becomes more erratic and his heartbeat accelerates. Suddenly, the door flies open and the light from outside fills the back seat. Mayor Kroll wears a terrified look. A cloud of green mist moves toward Mayor Kroll.
Welcome to my master plan, Mr. Mayor.
Oh my...
There'll be time for that later. As for right now, I have a need for you.
The mayor inhales the green mist. Mayor Kroll sees large, poisonous snakes crawling their way into the limo and onto his body.
Get them off me! Snakes! Please get them away from me!
They'll be gone forever, Mayor Kroll, as long as you cooperate.
Scarecrow reaches in and grabs Mayor Kroll by the shirt. He then slowly pulls Mayor Kroll out from the limousine. Inside Wayne Manor, Bruce and Dick are watching the television. A female anchor is on the screen.
Only a few short hours ago, Wayne Enterprises' grand unveiling of their new security facility was cut short by a fierce attack. Although the witnesses' reports were overall different, with some claiming to see giant killer bugs and others seeing the ground open up, the one thing they can all agree on is how it began. According to witnesses, a green mist filled the room and an army of what can only be described as scarecrows crashed through the windows. Gotham Police has taken in reformed criminal and psychology professor Dr. Jonathan Crane for questioning, but were forced to release him after an alibi proved he was not involved. Jonathan Crane had this to say.
The image on the screen changes to Jonathan Crane speaking in front of a large group of microphones.
You, ask me if I hold any ill will. The answer is, of course not. The police have done a remarkable job trying to grab a hold of this unfortunate situation, and it is only natural that they come to a man who would have willingly taken part in it in his past. But that was the past, and I have left that life behind me. It has been given up in exchange for a safe, albeit less than adventurous, job of teaching. On a lighter note, I would like to commend the choice of wardrobe. From what I've heard, these pretenders to the throne look splendid.
Crane smiles and the reporters laugh at his little joke. The image changes back to the anchor. Bruce and Dick both exchange angry glances.
Despite a valiant effort by Batman and Robin, the Scarecrows escaped and a large amount of weaponry was successfully stolen. According to other witnesses after the attack, another figure was seen assisting the army of pretenders to the throne. Identified as a female, disguised in an outfit not unlike a court jester, this woman no doubt will mean more trouble for Gotham City. At this time, Bruce Wayne could not be reached for comment.
Dick's fists clench at the mention of the court jester. A piece of paper is handed to the anchor.
This just in.
The anchor reads the paper.
The police has just received word from the Gotham Secret Service that Mayor Jefferson Kroll has been reported missing.
Bruce and Dick both stand up when the news is heard.
He was last seen after the chaos at the security facility broke out. Mayor Kroll was a guest speaker and was rushed into his limousine to take him back to his estate. As of now, neither the mayor nor the limousine have been found.
Come on, let's go.
Bruce and Dick walk toward the secret entrance to the Batcave. Outside Gotham City, it's nighttime. Mad Hatter's hideout is under the bridge to Gotham City. It is a dark lair, looking not unlike many of the other shacks around this lower section of the city, but with whimsical motifs of hearts, cats, and other Wonderland imagery. The trucks pull up, and Mad Hatter and the Scarecrow step out.
All right, let's get these loaded and ready for when your god returns to you.
The Scarecrows comply. Mad Hatter watches them work. Suddenly, there is a tap on Mad Hatter's shoulder. He quickly turns around and reaches for his knife. Harley Quinn is standing in front of him. She smiles.
No, that won't be necessary.
Who are you?
The one who saved you and your little army here. I'm still waiting for my thank you.
Maybe you'll get it when you tell me who you are and what you want.
Harley Quinn.
She bows just as she did when she was still in the circus.
Mad Hatter. And now that we've eliminated all needs for name badges, what do you want?
Same thing as you. Batman. On his knees, begging for his life. A half second before it ends.
How poetic.
But first, before that happens, I want something taken from him. Something very important. I'm sure you're up to the task.
Honey, if this is about hot-wiring the Batmobile, I'm far beyond.
It's Harley, and I'm talking bigger than the Batmobile. I'm talking about his tag-along, the bird boy who doesn't seem to like you very much.
The Mad Hatter smiles.
Well, by all means, continue.
On the streets of Gotham City, the Batmobile and the Redbird speed through the night. Robin turns on his intercom.
Where to first?
Gotham University.
Batman is speaking into his intercom.
It's possible that Crane kidnapped Kroll while his men hit the facility.
The Batmobile and Redbird drive past an alley. Standing in the alley is Dean Rowland, dressed in a hat and overcoat. He presses a button on his watch. A beeping sound is made. Inside Dr. Crane's classroom, Mayor Kroll has his hands tied behind his back. He is sitting on the desk. Scarecrow is walking around the room. Suddenly, there is a beep on his watch.
Ah, excellent. Batman must be close, which means it's time for us to make a departure, Mr. Mayor.
Outside the university, Scarecrow is pulling Mayor Kroll out of the college. Mad Hatter pulls up in the truck and then steps out.
Why are you here? You should be back at the hideout.
I've got a surprise for the Bat and the Bird.
Remember the plan? Don't kill the Bat. He has to see what we have in mind for Gotham City.
Of course, don't worry. This is just about the boy. I have something special for him.
Scarecrow smiles.
Then, by all means, enjoy yourself.
Scarecrow and the Mad Hatter put the mayor in the back of the truck. Once he is inside, Scarecrow sprays the mayor with his fear gas.
Then this should provide my, entertainment for the trip. See you in a few, Mayor.
Mayor Kroll already starts screaming about the snakes when Mad Hatter shuts the back of the truck. Scarecrow gets into the truck and drives off. On the nighttime Gotham streets, the Batmobile and Redbird continue toward the college. Batman clicks a button on his intercom, and an image of Commissioner Gordon appears.
I'm here.
You obviously heard about the mayor.
My men are conducting a manhunt all around the city.
Get them to concentrate around Gotham University. He may be in that vicinity.
Right. We'll be right on it.
Batman clicks the button again and the image vanishes. Outside Gotham University, Batman and Robin pull up. Batman steps out of the Batmobile. Robin gets off the Redbird. Both of them start running toward the school.
We'll split up. You take the bottom floor, I got the top.
Sure. Just don't drive up there and everything should go fine.
Will you stop picking on me about that rooftop thing?
You should have thought of that before you cut my engines.
Sure. Next time I'll let you die.
All the lights are out as Batman and Robin walk inside the university. Batman walks up the stairs to the upper floor. Robin takes the bottom. Robin walks around cautiously. He switches on his night vision to get a clearer look. He checks the classroom doors. Most of them are locked. As Robin goes deeper into the school, he sees someone at the end of the hall. A binocular lens activates on Robin's night vision. At the end of the hall is Harley Quinn. She is doing cartwheels. When she's done, she stops and turns around. She sees Robin and smiles. Robin watches as Harley smiles at him, then runs down the adjoining hallway.
Harley?
Harley runs down the hallway and into the auditorium. Robin runs after her. He goes inside. Inside the auditorium, the equipment used to hypnotize the students is still in boxes. The lights are out. Robin looks around the room for Harley, but she is nowhere to be found. Suddenly, the lights turn on. The light stabs into Robin's eyes. Robin lets out a scream of pain and drops to his knees as he struggles to turn off his night vision. Finally, when Robin has his sight back, he looks up and sees Batman standing before him.
It's you.
Yes, it is.
What are you doing down here? You said you were checking the top floor.
Suddenly, Robin remembers this situation from before. He looks up again. Batman smiles at him. Robin quickly executes a leg sweep on Batman. Batman falls to the ground. Robin jumps up.
Give it up, Tetch. I know it's you.
Robin pulls out a batarang and prepares to throw it at Batman. Batman gets up off the ground and quickly kicks Robin in the chest. Then he reaches behind his back and pulls out a special harpoon gun. He aims it at Robin. Robin takes a few steps back and looks up at Batman. Batman fires the harpoon gun, and the harpoon flies out and strikes Robin in the chest. Robin's body armor prevents it from breaking the skin. Robin looks down at the harpoon and tries to pull it off. Batman presses a button on the gun, and a powerful electrical current comes out. Robin shrieks out in pain as the harpoon gun does its job. Robin drops to his knees as he is being electrocuted. On the top floor of the university, Batman hears the sound of Robin screaming,
"Robin!"
In the auditorium, with a shaky grip, Robin holds up his batarang and, in a last-ditch effort, throws it. The batarang strikes Batman in the head, and he drops the harpoon gun. Robin smiles for a moment, then drops to the floor. Smoke is seeping from his body. Batman transforms into the Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter rubs his head and slowly walks over to Robin. He kicks the body once. Robin barely moves. Hatter raises his foot over Robin's head.
Every man fears what it might be like in the great beyond. It's time to put your fears to rest, little man. Forever.
Suddenly, a batarang flies out and strikes Mad Hatter in the chest. He puts his foot down and takes a few steps back. Batman is standing in the doorway. Mad Hatter smiles at him.
Well, well, look who's here. The big bad bat. Only this time he wasn't quick enough to save his little friend. Aww, look at that little face down there. The poor bird. Aren't they always cute when they're asleep? Or are they really asleep? Maybe something's wrong.
He pulls out a knife.
Maybe we should see what's making him tick. Wanna watch?
Batman lunges at Mad Hatter and knocks him to the ground. He grabs the hand holding the knife and methodically squeezes it until Mad Hatter lets go. Batman pushes the knife away and then pulls Mad Hatter up and beats him into unconsciousness. Batman lets out screams of rage as he pummels Mad Hatter. Finally, Mad Hatter is on the ground, beaten into unconsciousness. Batman looks down at him, then back at Robin. Robin is still lying on the ground. He hasn't moved at all. Batman slowly walks up to Robin and kneels down before him. He grabs Robin's wrist and checks his pulse. There's still a pulse. Robin is still alive. Batman breathes a sigh of relief. Suddenly, there's a noise in the doorway. Batman looks up and sees Harley Quinn standing there for a moment. She smiles wickedly at Batman, then cartwheels out of sight. Batman stands up and walks to the doorway. Harley is nowhere. Then Batman looks over at the boxes of equipment. He walks over to the boxes and pulls out one of the helmets. He holds it in his hands for a moment, then puts it back in the box. Outside the university, police cars have pulled up. Officers are patrolling the college. Mad Hatter is being led out the door by 2 police officers. He is in a straitjacket. Back to Arkham Asylum for you, pal.
For now, my officer friend. For now.
The press is swamping Gordon. Camera flashbulbs are flashing in his face.
Is there any word now on the whereabouts of Mayor Kroll, Commissioner?
We've uncovered several leads, and our men have done a wonderful job to find our mayor.
Batman steps out the door. He is holding Robin in his arms. The reporters stop asking Gordon questions and watch Batman slowly moving toward the Batmobile.
Oh no.
Batman keeps his gaze ahead as he moves to the Batmobile. He puts Robin in the driver's seat and presses a few buttons on the console. The reporters come charging at Batman. The photographers snap picture after picture of Robin's body in the Batmobile.
Batman, what happened to Robin?
Is Robin dead, Batman?
What happened here, Batman? Can we get a statement?
No comment.
Gordon runs up to the reporters and photographers.
All right, that's enough. Get away from him. Give the young man some air.
Get back, please.
The reporters finally back up a bit. The photographers continue to snap pictures. Gordon walks up to Batman, who is putting the finishing touches on his programming of the Batmobile's console.
Batman?
Batman keeps his head down, still programming.
I found some equipment in the auditorium. I'll be around to pick it up. It may have some answers.
Batman.
Batman looks up at Gordon. There's great sadness in his eyes.
Did Robin die tonight?
Batman looks down at the console and finishes the programming. Then he stands up and looks at Gordon.
For all intents and purposes, Yes.
Without saying another word, Batman activates the Batmobile and drives off toward the Batcave automatically. Batman gets on the Redbird and drives off, following the Batmobile. Gordon gives a concerned look as he watches Batman drive off. One of the reporters, who was close enough to hear Gordon and Batman's conversation, quickly writes down what he hears. On the streets of Gotham City, Batman flips a switch on the Redbird intercom.
Alfred?
Yes, sir.
Robin's been seriously injured. We'll need some hospital equipment ready for him. We're coming in.
Good heavens. I'll get started right away, sir.
Batman turns off the intercom. He drives on in silence. Outside Gotham University, Gordon walks over to his car and grabs the radio.
Pincus, what have we got?
Well, sir, my men have checked through everything. All the classrooms. The only thing we found is a box of equipment you were told about.
Good. Make sure all of that equipment is out of the building and close up. The kids have school here in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Harley Quinn is standing a fair distance away from Gotham University. She has her hands on her hips and an angered look.
Crap.
There's the sound of footsteps behind Harley. She turns around and sees the Scarecrow standing before her.
So, you must be the other end of Mad Hatter's short-lived partnership.
And who are you?
You may call me the Scarecrow. And what may I call you? My little Harlequin?
You're close. It's Harley Quinn.
Scarecrow nods.
Well, Miss Quinn, I must say that you have earned my respect for the plan you have concocted tonight. You have done what so many before you could not have. You hurt the Batman. Very impressive.
Well, I had to. He hurt me.
How so?
He killed the man I love.
Scarecrow starts walking around Harley, observing her.
So by taking away the most important man in your life, you have done the same to him. I appreciate your style, Harley. Some of your caliber would be useful to my master plan.
Your master plan?
Fear, my love. Gotham is a city consumed by fear, and Arkham Asylum is the powder keg in the center of it all. Soon, very soon, we will, put a flame to that powder keg.
So, suppose I come to help you. What do I get out of it?
You will get to watch Batman's beloved city come crumbling down upon him. You will get to see everything he has loved be destroyed.
Harley smiles.
I like your style, Mr. Scarecrow.
Scarecrow's tone becomes threatening.
But remember this warning, Harley Quinn. I have spent many years in Arkham constructing this plan. If you dare do anything without my approval, you will feel the weight of the Scarecrow's wrath.
Inside the Batcave, Batman and Alfred are getting Robin's uniform off.
Is the bed ready for him?
Yes, sir. All the equipment is set up.
Inside the Wayne Manor bedroom, Dick is out of his Robin uniform and lying in bed. There is hospital equipment all around his bed. Alfred is tending to Dick. Batman is still in uniform, standing a distance away. When Alfred has finished setting up all of the equipment, he walks over to Batman.
It looks like he took a bad shock, but I don't see him slipping away from us.
Take care of him, Alfred.
You're going back out there?
Batman walks away from Alfred.
I have to. Scarecrow's still out there, and the mayor's still missing.
On the streets of Gotham City, the Batmobile speeds toward police headquarters. Commissioner Gordon is standing on the roof of headquarters, waiting for Batman to appear. Standing beside him is a police officer. He has a medium-sized box beside him. It is the computer equipment from Gotham University. Gordon is looking over the edge of the roof. There is no sign of Batman. Gordon turns around and looks at his officer.
Where is he?
I'm here.
Gordon turns around. Batman is standing on the roof, keeping himself hidden in the shadows. Gordon walks over to him.
Do you have what I need?
The officer walks over with the box. He hands it to Batman. Batman takes the box and tucks it under his arm.
Is Robin okay?
Without saying another word, Batman drops himself off the roof. Gordon walks to the edge of the roof and looks down. He watches Batman swinging through the air on his gauntlet and drop to the ground. Batman gets into the Batmobile and drives off. At the Mad Hatter's hideout, the Scarecrows have finished loading the weaponry they stole. Mayor Kroll is bound and gagged, sitting in a chair. Scarecrow and Harley Quinn are walking around the room, making sure all is in order.
Genius. Everything is, going according to plan. The mayor is ours, and the entire city will soon follow suit.
So now what? When do we start getting serious?
All in due time, due time. You'll have your revenge soon enough. For now, we rest. It's been a long night, and whoever said there was no rest for the wicked must have had a handy supply of no-dos.
When do I get to kill the Batman?
Did you hear what I said earlier? First, the city collapses, then he will die. Not before.
I want him dead.
Scarecrow holds up his fear gas skull to Harley's face.
Do you know what's in here? Every fear you have ever held inside yourself, all your life will be brought before your very eyes with just a little bit of pressure.
Harley takes a step away from Scarecrow.
Now you'll have your, revenge, but unless you do things my way, a man dressed in a black leather batsuit will be the least of your cares.
There's a long pause. Harley takes a deep breath, then speaks.
Okay, we'll do it your way.
Scarecrow moves the skull closer to Harley's face until it is 2 inches away. Harley stares at it and starts trembling.
Scarecrow, I said I'd do it your way. Please put that down.
Scarecrow holds it up to her face for a moment, then smiles and lowers his hand.
Until now, I was, sure that a night like this could not make me happier. Seeing the fear in your eyes proved me wrong. Thank you, Harley.
Scarecrow walks away from Harley, leaving her to her thoughts. Inside the Batcave, Batman is busy at the computer. A long wire is leading from the computer to the Scarecrow's terminal. Several readings come out on the Bat computer. Batman studies what is being outputted. When Batman is done reading, he presses a button on the Bat computer to turn it off. Then Batman leans his head back and pulls off his cowl. Batman sits back on his chair, holding the cowl in his hand. His eyes slowly close. The cowl drops from his hand onto the floor. Inside Wayne Manor, Dick is still unconscious in his bed. Alfred is sitting beside him, making sure everything is okay. Slowly, Dick's eyes open. He looks up, his head still resting on the pillow. Then he looks in Alfred's direction. Alfred smiles, relieved.
Al?
Welcome back, Master Dick.
Dick coughs for a moment, then speaks again.
Where am I?
Master Bruce brought you back here from Gotham University. You seem to have gotten a nasty shock.
Dick sits up in bed.
What about Mad Hatter? Where's he?
Arkham Asylum. Everything's all right, Master Dick.
Where's Bruce?
In the Batcave, Bruce is still in his Batman uniform. The cowl is still on the floor. Bruce is asleep in the chair. Bruce's eyes start twitching, and his face grimaces. In his dreams, Bruce is in a Gotham City alley at nighttime. The Scarecrow is running deep into the alley. Batman chases him down. The two of them keep running until Batman finally catches up with him and wrestles him to the ground. Scarecrow grabs his fear gas skull and sprays it in Batman's face. Batman quickly stands up and takes a few steps back. He blinks his eyes in reaction to the gas. Batman sees Scarecrow pulling out a .44 caliber pistol. He aims it at Batman. Batman moves away as Scarecrow fires a series of rounds. Once the gun is empty, Batman turns around and sees a young boy riddled with bullet holes. The young boy looks up with dead eyes.
Why did you do that?
Before Batman can answer, the young boy turns and runs away, leaving a trail of blood behind him. Batman looks around frantically, still under the effects of fear gas. Scarecrow runs past him. Batman, now worried about the boy, follows the trail of blood. Batman steps out of the alley and looks around for the boy. The trail of blood is gone. Instead, Batman finds a couple. The husband and wife are looking down on the ground. Each of them is holding a rose in their hand. The husband drops his rose on the ground, then the wife drops hers. The couple looks in Batman's direction. Batman gasps and steps back. He knows the couple's face. They are his parents.
Why did you do that?
Inside the Batcave, Bruce bolts awake, clutching his breath and dragging himself out of his nightmare. Alfred is by his side.
Are you all right, Master Bruce?
Yeah, I'm fine. How's Dick?
I'm pleased to tell you that Master Dick has awoken last night.
Last night?
It is 10 a.m., sir.
Inside the Wayne Manor kitchen, sitting on the kitchen table, is a copy of the Gotham Gazette. Dick walks over to the kitchen table. He's wearing a robe, and underneath a t-shirt and boxer shorts. He picks up the newspaper and reads the headline. Batman to Gordon. Robin dead. Dick keeps his gaze on the headline and the accompanying picture. It is a shot of Robin's unconscious body in the driver's seat of the Batmobile. Dick's grip on the paper tightens. Bruce walks into the living room, now dressed in casual attire. He walks over to the large portrait hanging over the fireplace. It is a painting of Dr. and Mrs. Wayne. Bruce keeps his gaze on the picture. Dick walks into the room, holding the newspaper. He is now dressed in a casual shirt and jeans.
Hey!
Bruce breaks his gaze at the picture and looks at Dick.
Oh, good. You're feeling better.
Dick throws the newspaper at Bruce.
That's not what the papers say. Batman to Gordon, Robin dead? What the heck's going on, Bruce? Are we still partners or am I really dead? Tell me now and I'll leave.
Dick, I don't want you to go. You can still stay here.
Sure I can. I just can't be your partner anymore. One little scare like this and that's it. I'm out?
It's not like that.
Then what is it?
It's...
Fine. Don't say anything. I'll be out of here in an hour.
Dick leaves the room. Bruce shakes his head in frustration. In his bedroom, Dick packs his backpack in silence. Alfred walks into the room. He is holding a paper bag in his hands.
Master Dick, I do wish you could stay with us.
Well, I feel the same way, Al. But Bruce obviously doesn't.
He's only doing it so you can live a normal life. So you don't have to put yourself in harm's way like that ever again.
Whatever, Al. Look, I know you came up here to try and get me to stay, but it's not going to work. I have to leave.
Alfred hesitates for a moment, then raises the bag.
Then at least take this with you. Couldn't bear to hear the news that Richard Grayson had died of starvation.
Dick takes the bag and peeks inside it. He takes a sniff and smiles at Alfred.
I know there's one thing I'm really going to miss. Thanks, Al.
Dick reaches out his hand. Alfred takes it and gives him a strong handshake.
It's been a great privilege watching you grow, Master Dick.
Dick and Alfred smile at each other. Outside Wayne Manor, Bruce watches Dick getting on his bike. Dick is wearing his backpack.
Dick, please come into the house. We can talk about this.
Forget it, Bruce. If Batman no longer needs Robin, then Dick Grayson no longer needs Bruce Wayne.
Dick rides off, leaving Bruce in the driveway. Inside Jim Gordon's office, the phone rings. Gordon answers it.
Gordon here.
Jim?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Jim, it's me. Listen.
Inside the Mad Hatter's hideout, Mayor Kroll is wide-eyed and sweating heavily as he speaks into the phone. The Scarecrow is beside him, holding the fear-gas skull up to Mayor Kroll's face.
Listen, Jim, I don't have much time to tell you, but I need your help. No, this is where I am.
Gordon slams down the phone and gets out of his chair. He grabs his coat, then walks over to his office door and opens it.
Pincus!
Pincus walks up to Gordon.
Yes, sir?
Get a squad together. I just heard from Kroll. He told me where he is.
How'd he get to a phone? Did he say anything about who's holding him?
No idea. He just kept babbling on and on about snakes. I practically had to force him to tell me where he was.
So, where is he, sir?
Outside the police station, a group of squad cars drives toward their destination. Gordon is standing at the main entrance to the station. An officer is beside him.
Shall we turn on the bat signal, sir?
Gordon shakes his head.
No. Our boys will be able to handle this one. Besides, I think it's best if we gave him some rest for a bit.
Inside the Mad Hatter's hideout, Scarecrow is walking around Mayor Kroll, who is still sitting in his chair. Sweat is still pouring down his brow.
Excellent work, Mr. Mayor. And while the police are off on their little chase, the final pieces of my plan shall fall into place. Let's go watch the fun.
Just keep those snakes away, please!
Scarecrow pulls Kroll up to his feet. On the streets of Gotham City, Dick drives his motorcycle into Crime Alley. As he drives, he examines the surroundings. Bonfires and trash cans are lit, buildings are dimly lit, and there are very few people in the streets. Dick parks his motorcycle beside a streetlight and locks it. He walks away from the bike and into the alley. Dick sits down in the alley and takes a deep breath. He closes his eyes and leans his head back against the wall. A thug slowly emerges from the shadows deep in the alley. He walks up to Dick and looks down at him.
Hey!
Dick slowly wakes up.
Yeah?
That's where I sleep. Nobody but me sleeps there.
Dick looks to his left, then his right. He looks at the thug.
It's a comfy spot. My bad. I'm new.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you around Gotham before, you and that billionaire Bruce Wayne.
Dick stands up.
Guilty as charged. Now if you'll excuse me, you can have your spot back.
The thug walks behind Dick.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne. You know, he's a real punk.
The thug pushes Dick in the back. Dick sucks in some breath.
And so's his punk kid!
The thug pushes Dick again. Dick turns around and meets the thug eye to eye.
You got something to say to me?
The thug tries to punch him. Dick counteracts with a blow to the thug's head and a kick to his chest. The thug falls to the ground. Dick looks down at the thug. The thug looks up at him, then lets out a loud whistle. As Dick looks up, more thugs come out from all directions. Dick looks around, wearing a worried expression. Then Harley Quinn walks into the alley. She's wearing an overcoat over her court jester outfit. She hears the sounds of thugs from a distance. Dick walks out of the alley, into the street. The thugs encircle him and prepare to jump him all together. Harley sees Dick and pulls off her overcoat, then pulls her mask over her head. She runs up to Dick. Dick keeps his eye on the thugs, planning his attack pattern in his head. He is ready to strike at an instant. Suddenly, one of the thugs looks over in Harley's direction.
What is that?
Dick turns his head and sees Harley running toward him.
Oh, great. This is all I need.
Harley runs up, ready to throw a punch, but she isn't aiming at Dick. She's aiming at one of the thugs. Harley throws a punch, then executes a kick that knocks down another thug. Dick is shocked for a moment, then follows her lead and kicks and punches his way through the mob of thugs.
What are you doing here?
Had to get some exercise.
On the Gotham streets, the police cars are zooming toward their destination. The lights are flashing. The sirens are blaring.
Pincus to Commissioner Gordon. Are you there, Commissioner?
I'm here, Pincus. Where are you?
We should be at our destination in an ETA of 10 minutes.
Keep me informed on your situation.
Yes, sir. Out.
The squad cars continue to speed down the streets. Back in Crime Alley, Dick and Harley continue knocking down their foes one by one until they are either on the ground or running away. One of the thugs walks up to Dick's bike and reaches for the lock. A specialized mechanism releases an electric charge and knocks the thug to the ground. The thug then gets up and runs away. Harley and Dick stand in the middle of the streets, catching their breaths. They look at each other. Harley smiles.
You got a few moves there.
I've kept myself active since the circus days. You're not so bad yourself.
Let's say I've been training.
I saw you at the Wayne Security Building a few days ago.
Harley looks away.
You helped those scarecrows get away from Batman and Robin.
Maybe I did.
So you're doing what? Helping out the bad guys now?
Harley turns back at Dick.
Who's to say I'm helping out the bad guys? I'm with the people that are willing to help me get what I want.
And you want Batman and Robin dead, right? You want to take them away from Gotham and let chaos take over the city?
Oh, please, Dick. Batman is not the only source of justice in Gotham. There are plenty of cops that can do the job that Batman does, if not better. Besides, he'll have to watch his back now that nobody's there to do it for him anymore.
Dick looks down for a moment, then back at Harley.
Yeah, I hear Robin's been put out of commission for a while.
He's dead. And soon Batman will be next.
Harley, it's not too late to turn away from all this.
Harley turns around and starts walking away from Dick.
I can't, Dick. I'm sorry. That bat took everything away from me.
The life you're leading will take even more away, Harley.
Harley looks over her shoulder toward Dick.
We have a lot in common, Dick. Someone took away people we've loved and we've had to live with it. I just can't live with it anymore.
Harley runs away.
Harley, wait!
She doesn't look back. Dick watches her leave. One of the thugs on the ground is awake, looking up at Dick. Dick looks back down at the thug.
Now what do you want?
The thug shakes his head and slowly gets to his feet. He walks away from Dick, rubbing his head in pain. Dick watches him go. It's nighttime outside the Gotham Observatory. It was once a place that boasted of holding the world's largest telescope. Now it is an abandoned shell, annihilated by an explosion caused by Mr. Freeze not too long ago. Squad cars pull up with their sirens blaring and lights flashing. The policemen get out of the cars and surround the building. Pincus stands outside his car. He speaks into his radio.
We're there, sir. Gotham Observatory.
Send your men. Tell me what they find.
Pincus gives his men a signal to move in. 5 officers go inside the desolate building.
McCarthy!
Officer McCarthy walks up to Pincus.
Yes, sir?
Pincus hands the radio to McCarthy.
I'm going in with the others.
Pincus runs inside the building, leading the other officers. The 6 of them slowly make their way through the darkened halls of the old building. One of the officers spots something and points toward it.
Hey, Pincus, over there!
Pincus walks in the officer's direction. On the ground is a very familiar-looking straw hat. Pincus leans down and slowly picks it up off the ground. He examines it for any booby traps, then picks up his walkie-talkie and speaks.
McCarthy, tell Commissioner Gordon that we found the Scarecrow straw hat, and request further—
Suddenly, from deep inside the building, the screams of Mayor Kroll are heard. The officers quickly draw their revolvers.
Mayor Kroll! Move in, men!
Speaking into the walkie-talkie now.
McCarthy, tell Gordon that we're moving in. Mayor Kroll is here. Repeat, Mayor Kroll is here.
Pincus runs after the officers. On the streets of Gotham City, the Batmobile takes a turn down a side street. Batman is at the wheel. He flips a switch on the console.
Any word from him, Alfred?
None, sir. It is possible that he might have...
Wait.
In the distance, the bat signal is shining.
Keep your eyes out for him, Alfred. Gordon's calling.
Yes, sir. Do be careful.
Batman flips the switch on his console, and then flips another.
What's going on, Jim?
My men believe they found Mayor Kroll, but they also reported finding the Scarecrow's straw hat at the scene.
Where?
Gotham Observatory. What's left of it.
I'm on my way.
Batman flips off his computer and presses down harder on the gas pedal. The Batmobile speeds toward the observatory. Inside the observatory, the screams of Mayor Kroll get louder and louder as the cops, led by Pincus, get closer to the source.
This way!
They turn a corner, and moonlight is shining into the room ahead through the large hole in the roof. Pieces of the ceiling are scattered along the floor. The remains of the telescope are in the center of the room. Cobwebs surround it. Dust is everywhere. Pincus and the officers walk in. The screams of Mayor Kroll echo throughout the large room.
Spread out! Don't stop looking until he's found. Now move!
The officers spread out. Pincus walks up to the telescope and runs his fingers along the metal. The dust gets in his fingers.
Snakes! Get them away from me!
Mr. Mayor, we're here. Where are you?
Can anyone hear me? Please! Help me!
Pincus and the officers start moving toward one corner of the room. The screams are the loudest there. An officer moves a pile of rubble out of the way to find what should be Mayor Kroll underneath. Instead, there is a large television screen and a camera pointing at the officers. On the screen is Mayor Kroll, sweating and crying from fear. The Scarecrow is beside him. He is smiling and holding up his fear-gassed skull.
Oh my word.
Outside on the Gotham streets, Scarecrow and Mayor Kroll are in an alley, not far from the observatory. In front of them are a television set and a camera. The officers are shown on the screen. Scarecrow holds up a remote control in his other hand and waves to the officers. He presses a large red button. Inside the observatory, a loud whistle emits from the television set. The officers slowly back away, exchanging glances with each other. Suddenly, the television screen explodes. Glass flies everywhere. Live wires spit out from the hole. Inside the set is a small gas hose. It spits out a green mist at the officers. It is Scarecrow's fear gas. The officers inhale the gas, then exchange looks of worry, paranoia, and then intense fear. An officer drops to his knees. Another starts rubbing at his skin. A third clutches his throat. Another lets out a scream, and another runs away. Pincus runs out of the room. He looks back at whatever it is he thinks he is seeing. Pincus sees a large rabid dog chasing him. He turns, screaming in fear. The Batmobile pulls up outside the observatory. Batman steps out and walks up to McCarthy. Pincus led a small group inside. They said they heard Mayor Kroll screaming, and they found a straw hat.
Get them out of there, now! They're walking into a trap!
Get that dog away from me! He's gonna bite me!
Batman and McCarthy turn to see Pincus running out of the observatory in a panic. Back in the alleyway, Scarecrow reaches for another button on the remote control.
And now, for my next magical trick.
Scarecrow presses the button. The observatory explodes in a blaze of fire. The officers and Batman are thrown back. Batman shields himself with his cape. In the alley, Scarecrow gives out a loud howl of victory as his television screen is filled with static. He throws the remote control into the screen and the set explodes. Mayor Kroll jumps back when the set explodes, trying to keep any glass away from him.
Brilliance. And now, Mayor, it's time to reap the benefits. Let's go.
Scarecrow pulls Mayor Kroll to his feet. Outside a surplus store, a truck holding Scarecrow's hypnotized students pulls up. Harley Quinn drives it. She steps out of the truck and opens the back. The students run out and head inside the store. The store manager is relaxed behind the counter, reading a magazine. He looks up and sees the Scarecrows heading toward his store. The manager quickly hits the button underneath the counter that notifies the police. The Scarecrows run inside the store and quickly start grabbing weapons off the racks. Two of them reach for the manager and pull him out of the store. Outside the Gotham Observatory, Commissioner Gordon is in the passenger seat of a squad car that is pulling up. He steps out of the car and walks up to Batman.
A trap. Scarecrow set a trap.
Any casualties?
The 5 guys that went in with Pincus, and Pincus needs an ambulance.
Is he awake yet?
Yeah, I think the gas wore off too. He should be able to speak. Gordon and Batman walk over to Pincus. Pincus is lying on the ground, his uniform is torn and his head is bleeding. Cuts and bruises are all over him. Gordon kneels down next to Pincus.
It's all right, son. You're gonna be just fine. Now, do you remember what you saw?
Pincus nods.
I saw the mayor. He was on some television. Scarecrow was there too.
Did you see anything that may have shown you where he was?
I think it was an alley? Maybe. I don't know. I couldn't see that well.
It's all right. Don't worry, Pincus. The ambulance should be here soon.
Batman walks away from Pincus. McCarthy runs up to Gordon. Commissioner, we just got word. There's a robbery in progress. Jack's Army Navy store outside of Crime Alley.
That must be Scarecrow again. He distracts us while his goons get what they need.
Gordon turns to Batman, but Batman is already in the Batmobile. He is on his way to the surplus store. Gordon looks back at the police officers. They are waiting for his next order.
Well, let's go, men. Jack's Army Navy store. He can't handle them all by himself.
The cops run to their squad cars and head to the surplus store. Back at the store, the Scarecrows continue their robbery. Harley is watching from nearby. Scarecrow and Mayor Kroll are on a roof nearby, watching the robbery.
And there it is, Mayor. Everything has come together so, nicely.
Why are you doing this? What are all those weapons for?
For my dream, Your Highness. We're taking this hardware to my former home.
Former home?
The place from which your personally appointed review board allowed me to leave.
Arkham Asylum.
Scarecrow smiles and nods.
My God.
Exactly.
Outside the surplus store, Harley looks over her shoulder to see the Batmobile approaching. She frowns, then runs out of sight. The Batmobile pulls up beside the surplus store. Batman steps out and runs toward the store. Batman steps inside the store and sees the Scarecrows gathering weapons. He quickly runs up to them and knocks them to the ground. Then he uses his spear gun and its line to tie them up. The other Scarecrows walk into the store surrounding Batman. Batman begins to fight them and he pulls the mask off of one of the students. He sees the blank, hypnotized stare that the student has and then pushes the student to the ground. Batman fights his way out of the store. Scarecrow, from the rooftop, watches Batman stepping out of the store.
Drat. If I wasn't a patient man, I would have had him killed long ago.
Scarecrow turns to Mayor Kroll.
Looks like I'll be needing one more distraction. Kroll, you up for it? Sure you are.
Scarecrow holds Kroll to the edge of the roof and sprays some fear gas in Kroll's face.
And try to think of a different fear, please. The snakes are getting somewhat, tiring.
Mayor Kroll sees the ground getting further and further from his view. He starts screaming in sheer terror. Scarecrow looks at Kroll's frightened face and smiles.
Now that's, more like it.
Don't let me fall! Oh, please, please don't let me fall!
Outside the surplus store, Batman hears the screaming from above and looks up. He sees Mayor Krol being held to the edge of the roof by Scarecrow. Scarecrow waves at him from above. Batman pulls out his spear gun and fires a line to the roof of the building. He flies up to the rooftop holding onto the spear gun. Batman lands on the rooftop, ready for a fight. Scarecrow is several feet away, holding onto Mayor Krol.
Good evening to you, Batman. Have you met Mayor Krol? Say hello, Mayor.
Mayor Krol weakly waves a hello to Batman.
Get away from him, Crane!
And give up my best method of keeping both you and the police away from me? No, please, Batman, don't insult my intelligence.
Why are you keeping the police away, Scarecrow? What are you hiding?
You'll know when the time is right.
You'll tell me now. What are the weapons for?
Scarecrow ponders for a moment, then smiles.
You're the detective. You figure it out. And while you're at it, here's another one. When a man averaging about 245 pounds is thrown off a building 38 stories high, how many seconds will he last before this man hits the pavement below?
Scarecrow holds his fear gas skull and sprays another dose in Mayor Krol's face.
Turn your test papers over, class. You may begin.
Scarecrow gives Mayor Krol a light shove, then runs away from him. Mayor Krol looks down and clutches at the roof.
Mayor Krol, don't move.
I'm getting higher. I'm slipping. I'm slipping. Oh, I'm gonna die.
Batman walks up to Mayor Krol.
You're not going to fall, Mayor. You have to fight the fear. Reach out to me. Now.
I can't move. Please don't let me die.
You won't die if you reach out to me.
Mayor Krol moves his right arm to reach out for Batman, but his left hand slips.
Help me! Please!
Mayor Krol slips over the edge and falls off the roof of the building. Batman leaps off the roof to catch him. Mayor Krol screams as he falls. Batman is right behind him, straightening out his body to increase speed. Batman points his right arm toward the rooftop and fires a line from his spear gun. The line flies higher and higher to the rooftop. Batman and Mayor Krol get closer and closer to the pavement. Batman reaches Mayor Krol and grabs his leg. The line connects with the rooftop. Batman and Mayor Krol jerk upward. As the grappling hook stops their fall short. Mayor Krol is still looking down and screaming. He is no longer falling, but he is less than 15 feet above the ground. Batman reaches down and connects the spear gun to his belt. He then grabs onto Mayor Krol with both hands to keep him from moving. Batman reaches down at his spear gun and flips a switch on it. The two of them are slowly lowered to the ground. Police cars pull up outside the surplus store. Gordon gets out of his car and looks over at Batman and Mayor Krol. A worried look is on his face. Gordon runs over to Batman and Mayor Krol. The mayor is shaking heavily. Tears are rolling down his cheeks and sweat is pouring off his brow. His eyes are widened.
Mayor Krol!
He'll be alright, Jim. He's just got too many doses of fear gas.
You didn't let me die. You didn't let me die.
Tell your men not to open fire on the Scarecrows. They're just kids.
Kids?
College students. They were hypnotized.
College students. Gotham University just filed a report for missing students.
And Jonathan Crane just recently resumed his teaching job at Gotham University.
Now all that's left is the ammo.
Batman looks behind him to see Harley Quinn cartwheeling out of sight into an alley.
We're about to find out.
Batman gets up and races toward the alley. Gordon looks down at Mayor Krol.
He didn't let me die. He didn't give up. That man saved my life. That Batman saved my life.
Batman turns a corner into an alley. He looks around for Harley, finds nothing. He turns to leave the alley.
Hey!
Batman hears the voice from behind him and turns around again. Harley is standing in front of him. She lashes out with a vicious strike to the face. Batman backs up. Harley lets loose with a fierce array of kicks and punches. Batman blocks them all, not striking back for fear of hurting such a frail young girl. Harley connects with a kick to Batman's mouth. A bit of blood appears in the corner.
Come on, Bats. You're not afraid of little old me, are you?
Harley kicks Batman in the chest. Batman executes a leg sweep on her. Harley leaps in the air as he does this and flips over Batman. She tugs on Batman's cape and tries to pull him down. Batman reaches around and grabs Harley by the neck, then flips her over his shoulder. She responds with a kick to Batman's face while she is on her back. Harley gets herself up and continues her assault on Batman, not letting up for a moment.
I didn't think you'd be this slow. Maybe it's all that armor you wear.
Batman starts fighting back, blocking Harley's moves and trying to get her off her feet. Unfortunately, she keeps flipping over him and out of his range, and he is the one left off balance. Finally, Harley wraps her legs around Batman's neck in a scissor move, then pulls him to his knees. Once he is there, Harley releases the hold and kicks him in the head again. This shot knocks Batman to the ground.
Who are you?
Name's Harley Quinn.
Okay, Harley Quinn. What did I do in a previous life that hurt you?
Harley, in anger, slams her foot on Batman's chest. The armor shields the full force of the blow, but Batman still feels it.
If it weren't for you, the man I love would still be here. You killed him!
Who?
The Joker?
Harley brings up her foot again to step on Batman's chest. This time, Batman rolls out of the way and gets to his feet.
The Joker? That was 10 years ago. You wouldn't have been more than a teenager.
Shut up.
Harley pulls out a revolver from inside her costume.
Harley, the Joker was a madman. Trust me on this one. He wasn't your type.
Harley moves closer to Batman, holding the gun.
Okay, maybe he was your type. But if he didn't die, he would have killed thousands of innocent people.
Small price to pay for letting a genius like him live. But you couldn't handle that. You took him away from me.
Harley cocks the pistol.
Get ready to meet your little bird friend in hell.
No.
Harley turns away as Scarecrow walks over to her.
Get out of here.
No. You're not going according to plan.
Oh, to hell with the plan and to hell with you. I want him dead.
Fine. Then kill him.
Harley turns back to shoot Batman, but Batman is no longer there. She turns back to Scarecrow, pointing her gun at him.
Why couldn't you let me kill him?
I have my reasons, which I've already stated to you constantly, and you still disobey me.
Scarecrow walks closer to Harley. Harley prepares to fire.
Don't come any closer.
Do you really need the gun?
Scarecrow reaches for the gun and slowly takes it out of Harley's hand. Suddenly, Scarecrow lashes out with a right hook that knocks Harley out cold. She drops to the ground. Scarecrow flexes his fingers, then picks up Harley and puts her over his shoulder. Outside the surplus store, the police are doing their best to keep the Scarecrows down. Unfortunately for them, the Scarecrows keep getting up. One of the Scarecrows reaches for one of the officers. Suddenly, Batman drops down between the Scarecrow and the officer and knocks the Scarecrow to the ground. Then, Batman uses his spear gun to tie up the Scarecrow.
Scarecrows? Caca.
The Scarecrows stop whatever they're doing. Each of them reaches into their pockets as one, and each pulls out one smoke ball. They are the size of golf balls. The smoke balls are thrown to the ground, and smoke inside is released. A cloud of smoke rises from the combination of the balls, and it is so thick that it is impairing the officer's sight. After a few moments, the cloud of smoke subsides, and the Scarecrows are gone, as well as the truck of weapons. The officers look around in frustration, trying to find at least one Scarecrow, but there is nothing.
We had them all. How'd they get away?
Batman walks over to Gordon. He is holding onto the Scarecrow he tied up. They have one of them.
Maybe this one can help you.
Batman looks inside the surplus store to find a large amount of weaponry is gone. Also, the Scarecrows Batman tied up earlier are gone. Batman exits the store and walks toward the Batmobile. Gordon notices Batman leaving and looks in his direction.
Where are you going?
Later on, inside a police interrogation room, Gordon and McCarthy are standing over the Scarecrow. McCarthy reaches over and pulls his mask off. The student has a young face, looking like no more than a college freshman. The student has the hypnotized look on his face. Gordon waves his hand in front of the student's face. There is no response from the student.
How are we supposed to get any answers from this kid?
Outside the Mad Hatter's hideout, the Scarecrows are currently emptying the truck. Inside, Harley Quinn is lying in bed, still unconscious. Scarecrow is sitting in a chair, wearing a virtual reality helmet on his head. He reaches for something in front of him. In the virtual reality Scarecrow is seeing, there is a big orange ball in front of him. His hand in virtual reality grabs the orange ball and squeezes. After a moment, the light is completely gone from the ball. In the interrogation room, the student starts going into a spasm. His eyes roll in the back of his head. His body stiffens completely. Gordon and McCarthy back away from the student. After a few moments of spasms, the student finally relaxes and sinks limply into the chair. His arms drop at his side. His head leans on his right shoulder. A line of saliva drips from the corner of the student's mouth. The boy has been lobotomized. McCarthy gets nauseous, then runs out of the room. Gordon stands there stunned for a moment, then he looks out into the hallway.
We need a doctor here now!
The student's spasms are the only movements he is making. Outside on the Gotham City streets, Batman is driving the Batmobile.
Alfred?
Yes, sir.
Any luck finding him?
Unfortunately not, sir. I am about to expand my search to Crime Alley.
No need. I'll stop by on my way back.
Back, sir?
There's only one man I can think of who can tell me what Scarecrow plans to do with those weapons, and I'm on my way to pay him a visit.
Sir, may I be so bold as to ask what you plan to do with Master Dick once you locate him?
Batman thinks for a moment. When he speaks, he is using the voice of Bruce Wayne.
I don't know.
Why did you tell Commissioner Gordon that Robin was dead?
Because I didn't want to put an innocent person in harm's way.
Robin is not an innocent person. He is a fighter of crime, just like you.
Dick Grayson is innocent.
Is it Bruce Wayne or Batman who is driving that car?
Short pause. Batman is about to answer, but stops himself.
I'll stop in Crime Alley to see if he's there. In the meantime, keep an eye out for him.
Batman switches off his communicator and drives on. The Batmobile drives up to Arkham Asylum. Batman steps out of the Batmobile and stands at the entrance, looking up at the building. He stands there for a moment, then enters. Inside, Dr. Burton leads Batman down the hallway.
He's been absolutely quiet ever since he came here. It's almost as if he's waiting for something.
He is. I just need to find out what.
His cell is at the end of the hallway, to the right. This way.
Dr. Burton leads Batman down to the last cell on the right. Batman looks inside the cell.
I want to go inside.
Are you sure?
Batman gives her a look as if to say, yes, I'm sure.
Okay, then.
Dr. Burton unlocks the cell door, and Batman slowly walks inside.
Just ring the bell beside his bed, and I'll be ready to open the door for you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Burton shuts and locks the cell door. Inside the Mad Hatter's cell, Batman stands in front of the door. Jervis Tetch is sitting on his bed, looking away from Batman.
Tetch?
Mad Hatter doesn't look up at Batman when he speaks.
I'd like to speak with you for a moment.
By all means, have a seat. I'm sorry I haven't been able to fix up this place.
Mad Hatter raises his arms to show he is bound in a straitjacket.
They don't let you do very much cleaning around here.
You know why I'm here, Tetch. I want you to tell me what Scarecrow intends to do with those weapons.
Mad Hatter slowly looks in Batman's direction. He smiles wickedly.
Now why should I tell you, of all people? Why should I ultimately help the one man who put me here?
Tell me what his plan is.
And if I don't, what are you gonna do? Let your little partner loose on me?
Batman's fists clench.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. He flew south for the winter, didn't he? Gee, don't you hate it when birds do that? Now, I don't.
Batman punches Mad Hatter in the face. Mad Hatter shakes his head and spits a tooth at Batman.
Keep it. It was falling out anyway.
Tell me what I need to know, Tetch. I haven't seen any rescue mission from Scarecrow to get you out of here.
Well, that's because he hasn't done it yet.
How do you know he'll do it at all?
Oh, don't you worry about that. Besides, you've got your own problems to worry about now. Don't you, Batman?
What are you talking about?
You think Scarecrow's the only one who knows what your biggest fears are?
Mad Hatter begins to transform himself into an image of Robin. Robin is now bound in a straitjacket. He looks up at Batman with cold, dead eyes. Blood begins to leak from the corner of his mouth.
According to you, Batman, this child you see before you is an innocent life. And now this innocent child has been struck down because you put him in harm's way.
Robin smiles, then transforms back into Mad Hatter.
I didn't come here so you could dissect me, Tetch. I came for answers.
Mad Hatter smiles and licks his lips.
I know why you came. The dissection is a bonus at no extra charge.
No more of this, Tetch. Tell me.
You know, for a detective, you're very slow, Batman. The trick is to know your opponent's obsession. Then you'll be able to figure out where that obsession will be catered to in the best possible way. Then you'll know.
Scarecrow's obsession is fear.
Oh, good. You're halfway there. Now all you have to realize is where fear resides in its most solid form.
Batman thinks for a moment. A long pause. until finally he looks back at the Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter starts laughing.
Well, it looks like you're not so slow after all, Crusader.
His laughing reaches a fever pitch. Batman rings the bell for Dr. Burton to let him out. In the hallway, Dr. Burton unlocks the cell and opens the door. Batman walks out.
Did you find what you were looking for?
Yes, I did. Put some extra security on for tonight.
Batman walks past Dr. Burton, heading for the exit.
Why? What did he tell you?
Back on the city streets, Batman drives the Batmobile. He flips a switch on the Batmobile console.
Alfred?
Yes, sir. Have you found out what you needed to know?
Everything and more. Alfred, there's something I need you to do for me.
Batman drives the Batmobile down to the crime alley street. Batman looks around for anything that would point him in Dick's direction. Batman drives past Dick's motorcycle. It is still chained up and untouched. Batman parks the car beside Dick's motorcycle and gets out. Punks watching from afar stop whatever they're doing and keep an eye on Batman.
Hey, chill out. It's Batman.
Batman shoots a hard look at the punks, then walks on. Dick peeks his head out of the nearby alley. He sees Batman, then slowly steps out into the street.
Came to take the bike away from me too?
I need to talk to you, Dick.
Okay, let's talk.
Not here.
What's wrong? I like it here. I have friends here now.
Dick motions to the punks. The punks walk away quickly.
See? They respect my privacy. Now, if there's something you want to tell me, I won't stop you.
You seem to have done well for yourself.
Yeah, it's not so bad. I have to make do with someone not cleaning up after my every step, but that's life. You still haven't told me what you're doing here.
A couple of years before you became my partner, I met with Scarecrow and he gave me a dose of his fear gas. I saw my worst fear right before my eyes, that I would be responsible for taking the life of an innocent. That's why I told Gordon that Robin was dead. I couldn't bear the fact of being responsible for Dick Grayson being lost. But I was wrong. Dick Grayson and Robin are one and the same. You're no more of an innocent than I am.
So what does this mean for Robin?
Robin is gone, but that doesn't mean that Dick Grayson can't take on the streets by himself.
By myself? But I thought I wasn't ready for that.
No, you're ready. I just never could tell you that until now.
What if I like being alone?
Then I'll get you an apartment.
Dick is intrigued by the offer.
Let me get this straight. I come back with you, and not only do I get back into the game, but you're going to set me up with my own house and my own new identity?
What do you say?
Dick thinks for a moment, then smiles and nods his head. Inside the Mad Hatter's hideout, Scarecrow is standing before his army of scarecrows. Harley Quinn is standing beside him.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming here this evening. Not as if you had any choice, of course. I wanted to thank you all of you, for your eager participation in my plan for the past several days.
The scarecrows remain silent as the scarecrow speaks.
You all have pleased me beyond belief, though I do not know any of your names outside of Dean Rowland. You all have my gratitude, my undying gratitude. It will be unfortunate when I have to terminate this experiment, as well as terminate all of you when the mission is complete. But there will be time for that later. For now, it's off to Target Zero Arkham Asylum. Tonight, the gates of fear will fly open, and the madness inside will descend upon Gotham City.
Scarecrow turns to Harley and smiles.
And our good friend Batman will be unable to stop us.
In the Batcave, the Batmobile is at rest on its platform. Batman and Dick walk out of the car. Alfred walks down the stairs from Wayne Manor to greet them.
Hey, Al. Been a while.
Master Dick, I'm so relieved to see you safe and sound once again.
Have you done what I asked, Alfred? We don't have much time.
Yes, sir. Would you like to see it?
Dick turns to Batman, then to Alfred.
See what?
Alfred walks up to the Bat computer and types in a special code. As Dick and Batman watch, design schematics for a new costume are shown on the screen. It is a sleek, dark blue outfit with a high collar, cape, dark boots, and gloves. The works. But it looks nothing like the old Robin costume.
What do you think?
Very nice. How about without the cape?
Alfred types a few buttons. The cape vanishes from the screen.
Better. Yeah, I think that will work very nicely.
Good. Get suited up, and hurry.
Inside the vault, Dick puts on his new uniform. When he's finished, he takes a good look at himself and smiles, then exits the vault. Batman nods his head in approval as Dick steps out.
Any thoughts on a name?
I was thinking about Nightwing. How does that sound?
Batman nods, liking the name.
Nice ring to it. Ready for one last tour of duty as partners?
Nothing like going out as a champion.
Batman and Nightwing shake hands, partners. Alfred looks on with pride. Outside on the streets of Gotham City, the Batmobile races toward Arkham Asylum. Right beside him is Nightwing in his modified Redbird motorcycle. The red is gone, replaced by a sleek blue and black. Scarecrow's truck pulls up on a cliff overlooking Arkham Asylum. The Scarecrows exit from the back, with each of them holding a large weapon. Scarecrow and Harley Quinn exit the cab.
Let it, begin.
A Scarecrow pulls out a rocket launcher taken from the Wayne security facility. He aims and fires. A rocket launches from the gun. Inside Arkham Asylum, the inmates are all in their cells wearing straitjackets. Suddenly, a tremendous explosion rocks the asylum. Pieces of brick and metal fly everywhere. Several doors are blown off as well. Inmates howl as they run out of their cells. A loud alarm blares from inside the asylum. It is heard all throughout the city. As Batman and Nightwing continue their journey to Arkham, the bat signal shines on the horizon. Back at the asylum, Scarecrow and Harley are watching the Scarecrows blasting away the asylum walls.
Just a few more shots.
Suddenly, Harley looks over her shoulder to see the Batmobile and Nightwing's motorcycle approaching.
Now what? And who is that?
Scarecrow notices Nightwing. He frowns.
Whoever he is, he's, expendable.
He turns to a small group of his Scarecrows.
The biker must die. Your god wills it.
The Scarecrows run toward Batman and Nightwing. Batman and Nightwing come to a halt as the Scarecrows get closer and closer. Batman reaches into his utility belt and pulls out a small pistol. He tosses it to Nightwing. Nightwing catches the pistol. Batman pulls out another one.
Here, they're tranquilizers.
All set.
Batman and Nightwing take aim and fire small tranquilizer bullets at the Scarecrows. They are hit and go down instantly.
It's working.
That should keep them down for a few minutes.
Batman and Nightwing get out of their vehicles and run after Scarecrow and Harley. Scarecrow turns to his Scarecrows.
Don't stop firing!
He turns to Harley.
The stranger's all yours. Give him a chase, then, kill him.
Harley runs toward the truck.
I got Harley.
Nightwing runs after Harley, which leaves Scarecrow to Batman. Scarecrow runs away, allowing Batman to chase him down. Harley jumps into the truck and starts it. Nightwing runs up and leaps onto the back of the trailer. The truck starts and drives off. Nightwing pulls out his suction grips from his utility belt and starts making his way up to the top of the trailer. Scarecrow runs higher and higher up the cliff to the highest point. The tip is directly over Arkham Asylum. Batman runs up after Scarecrow. The hypnotized Scarecrow students continue their firing on the asylum. The sirens are still blaring and there are screams from the madmen inside. Batman turns and fires tranquilizers at the Scarecrows firing on the asylum. The Scarecrows drop to the ground. Thunder is heard in the distance. A storm is starting. On the Gotham City streets, Harley drives the truck, trying to shake Nightwing. Nightwing continues to move closer and closer to the cab. Harley peeks her head out for a moment to see Nightwing on the truck. Nightwing smiles and waves.
Crap.
Harley looks back at the road and fishtails the truck back and forth, trying to shake Nightwing off, but Nightwing holds on. At the asylum, Batman runs up to the highest tip of the cliff, overlooking Arkham Asylum. Scarecrow is waiting there. The rain starts coming down. Scarecrow smiles a sinister grin at Batman.
So now it is down to you and, me. No thugs waiting for you at the top. No partner set to ambush you in the shadows.
Give it up, Crane. It's over.
Quite the contrary. It's, well, it's just begun. Don't you see, these children who have embraced me as their god have done a great service. They have brought about a new age of fear. The damage has already been done.
The police sirens are heard. Scarecrow turns his head for a moment. Commissioner Gordon steps out of one of the squad cars. He looks up at the sky, perplexed by the clouds he sees.
Is there a permanent cloud over this place that I don't know about?
Scarecrow turns back to Batman. He shoots Batman a hard glare.
I told you it was over.
On the city streets, Nightwing has used his suction grips to get his way on top of the cab. Harley continues to fishtail around the streets. Cars try to get out of the way, resulting in serious accidents.
Ugh, come on, please die!
Nightwing flips himself around, bringing his legs straight up and flipping them forward into the windshield of the cab. He breaks through the windshield glass and grabs Harley, then pulls her down into the passenger seat. The truck flips over on its side and careens down the street. Sparks fly everywhere. Nightwing knocks the passenger door open and raises his arm out. He fires his spear gun toward a streetlight. The line wraps itself around the light. Nightwing grabs Harley, and the line lifts the two of them out of the truck. The truck skids on down the street. After a few moments, it finally comes to a halt. Harley looks up at Nightwing and tries to wrestle her way out of his grasp.
Harley, stop!
Harley spits in his face.
Who are you?
Someone who knows why you're doing this. Harley, you have to let it go.
He took everything from me!
No, he didn't. He saved a city from the man you claim to love. I hope someday you'll realize that.
Tears start running down Harley's face. Above the asylum, Scarecrow watches as the police round up the Scarecrows and the Arkham security keep the inmates from breaking out. Scarecrow looks back at Batman.
It's a shame. I was looking forward to the look on your face as the fear came tumbling down into Gotham. But, unfortunately, that won't happen.
Scarecrow walks closer to Batman.
So I guess I'll just have to, kill you.
Scarecrow takes a swing at Batman. Batman grabs Scarecrow's arm and punches him in the face. Scarecrow is then thrown to the ground. Batman clenches his fists as Scarecrow slowly gets up. Scarecrow tries to punch Batman, but misses the shot. Batman steps out of the way, then pulls Scarecrow to his feet and punches him down again.
Ah, I forgot how hard you hit. But then again, you don't forget much, do you, Batman?
Batman walks closer to Scarecrow.
No more head games, Crane.
Scarecrow reaches behind him and pulls out his fear-gas skull.
This has nothing to do with head games.
Batman leans forward to grab Scarecrow. Scarecrow quickly puts the fear-gas skull in Batman's face and squeezes. The gas hits Batman before he can get out of its way. Batman backs up slowly. Scarecrow gets to his feet.
Hope you like this latest recipe, Batman. I call it Essence de Trauma.
Batman blinks rapidly, then looks at Scarecrow. Scarecrow is smiling at Batman. The surroundings start to change around them. Scarecrow starts to transform before Batman's eyes.
Tell me, Batman, tell me your deepest childhood trauma. Something must have triggered the creation of the man standing before me.
Scarecrow starts transforming into a darkly dressed man in a hat and overcoat. He is holding a large revolver in his hand. It is Jack Napier, the man who would later become the Joker, and the man who was a moment away from murdering Thomas and Martha Wayne. Batman looks around him to see that he is in Crime Alley, the scene of his parents' murder.
No.
Napier looks up at Batman. His face transforms to a ghastly skull with fire burning from the eye sockets. Jack smiles and pulls the trigger twice. The bullets go straight through Batman and strike two people behind him. Batman turns around to see Thomas and Martha Wayne lying on the ground, bleeding to death. Thomas and Martha look up at Batman with dead eyes.
Why didn't you save us, son?
I couldn't. There was nothing I could do. I was just a boy.
When Jack Napier speaks, he has the Scarecrow's voice. Just a boy, just a boy. What is it, Batman? Tell me what you see before you. Tell me. Batman shakes his head. Thomas reaches for Batman.
No.
You failed us, son. You have always failed us.
I did not fail you. It was not my fault.
Batman turns toward Jack. Jack strikes him in the face. Yes, it was your fault. You did fail them. Admit it, Batman. You failed. You always fail. Batman hears taunting from all his foes.
Your emotions make you weak. That's why this day's mine.
So many people to kill, so little time.
Let's see what justice has in store.
Will you please? You're as blind as a bat!
You don't really think you'll win, do you?
I would love to live with you in your castle. I just couldn't live with myself.
Idiot! You baby!
Jack points the gun at Batman. Batman grabs the gun.
No, I will not say it. I did not fail.
The Crime Alley illusion begins to fade.
Scarecrow!
Batman grabs Jack by the throat. Jack transforms back to Scarecrow. The gun transforms into Scarecrow's fear gas skull. Thomas and Martha Wayne fade away. Thunder rolls and lightning flashes as Batman squeezes Scarecrow's fear gas skull. The two of them struggle with it until Batman finally crushes the skull. The wind blows the gas right into Scarecrow's face. Scarecrow backs up. He is now dangerously close to the edge of the cliff. Batman backs away from him.
And what about you, Jonathan Crane? What is the Master of Fear afraid of?
Scarecrow's eyes widen in terror. From behind Batman, a large flock of crows comes straight toward Scarecrow. Batman stands before him.
No, no, no!
The crows begin to pick at Scarecrow. They dig into his body. They pull out straw instead of blood and organs. He has become an actual Scarecrow. There is nothing but straw in him. Scarecrow raises his hands in front of his face as the crows continue to eat away at him. He cries out in pain, trying to keep the crows away from him. Scarecrow continues to back away until he finally slips off the cliff, letting out a scream of total agony as he falls into the darkness below him. Batman walks to the edge of the cliff to watch Scarecrow fall. Nightwing and Harley walk into view on the lower part of the cliff. They hear the scream of the Scarecrow and turn to watch him fall right into the hole created in Arkham Asylum's ceiling. Commissioner Gordon looks up when he hears Scarecrow falling. Harley averts her eyes as Scarecrow lands with a sickening thud. Scarecrow is dead. He lies in the middle of the asylum floor. One of the inmates who got out of his cell slowly walks up to Scarecrow's body, then pulls him out of sight. Batman stands on top of the cliff, victorious. Nightwing looks up at Batman and smiles. One of the Scarecrow students begins to stir as the effects of Batman's tranquilizer wears off. Nightwing quickly turns around and gets ready to fire another shot at the student. The student quickly raises his arms.
Hey man, don't shoot!
The student pulls off his mask. His eyes are returned to normal.
You alright, pal?
I guess so. Where am I?
Later, Batman and Nightwing keep their distances as the police do their job. Gordon is supervising everything. The students are all escorted to ambulances. McCarthy is handcuffing Harley Quinn. Gordon walks over to her.
You'll have to spend some time in Blackgate Prison until we can get Arkham fixed up.
Harley looks at Batman, then turns her head away. Batman watches as McCarthy leads Harley into the back seat of a squad car. McCarthy shuts the door. Tears start streaming down Harley's face as the car drives off. Daytime in Gotham City. A delivery truck is outside an apartment building where Dick will now live. Movers are bringing in various pieces of furniture.
So the cases of the missing college students, the artillery theft, and the kidnapping of Mayor Jefferson Kroll were all brought to a close last night at the aborted attack on Arkham Asylum. Although several sections from the asylum were destroyed, no injuries from inside were reported and the reconstruction has already begun.
Bruce Wayne's limousine pulls up in front of the apartment building. Alfred gets out of the driver's seat and opens the back door. Bruce and Dick step out.
However, one casualty has been reported from the events of last night. Dr. Jonathan Crane, known to many as the Scarecrow, was found dead at approximately 2 a.m. He is reported to have fallen to his death from the high point of a cliff overlooking the asylum. According to Police Commissioner James Corden, Dr. Crane was the mastermind behind a scheme to release the inmates out into the city streets.
Bruce and Dick step inside the apartment building.
Dr. Crane's minions were the missing students from Gotham University and were reported to be under a hypnotic control. As of now, the students have fully recovered and are ready to be sent home to their families. This morning, Mayor Kroll called a press conference to thank the man who has been the victim of His Honor's verbal attacks for the past 6 months.
As Bruce and Dick make their way to an elevator, Mayor Kroll's voice is heard from the press conference earlier this morning.
Every moment I spent as a captive of the Scarecrow was a nightmare, something I will live with for the rest of my life. I stared right into the evil that one man out there faces every night, and I couldn't be more grateful for him saving my life. Despite my earlier attacks on Batman, I want to thank him for not giving up and for saving both myself and this entire city. Wherever you are, from the bottom of my heart.
Bruce and Dick walk into Dick's new apartment. Movers are in the process of putting the furniture in place. Dick walks around the living room, smiling to himself the whole time.
Not bad, huh? Amazing what you can accomplish when you purchase an entire building. Maybe I'll actually rent out the other rooms in it.
Well, I can't say I won't miss you, Bruce.
You're only 10 minutes away. You'll always be welcome. Except for when the Do Not Disturb sign is on the doorknob.
Of course.
Dick steps up to Bruce. The two of them shake hands. Dick leans in a little closer so the movers can't hear them.
What about the other guy who's going to be living here?
It's all taken care of. Just go to the third basement.
Didn't know there was a third basement.
There isn't.
Bruce winks. Dick winks back.
By the way, what's going to happen with Harley Quinn?
Don't worry about it. I sent her a little heirloom of mine. Something I wouldn't need anymore.
At Blackgate Prison, a guard makes his way down the women's quadrant, holding a package under his arm. He comes to Harley Quinn's cell. Harley is sitting on the bed, her back to the guard.
Quinn.
Harley looks over her shoulder at the guard. The guard sticks the package into the cell.
You got a present.
Harley slowly makes her way to the package and picks it up. She carefully opens it and reaches into the box. Harley pulls out a purple blazer jacket. It is dusty and slightly torn. It belonged to the Joker.
His jacket. My Puddin's jacket.
Harley weeps tears of joy as she cradles the jacket like a newborn clutching a blankie. On the Gotham City streets, Nightwing drives his motorcycle. He looks up as the bat signal is seen in the distance. Nightwing smiles, then looks ahead and drives off. The signal passes by Gotham Cathedral. Standing on top of the cathedral, in all of his glory, is Batman. His cape flows in the breeze. His eyes are on the city below. The moon above is full and bright, and the squealing of bats is heard in the distance.